Podcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Vibeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestead from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork in their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Post Album.
The West Region title matchup. The one we've all been waiting for. It's Bismarck High and Bismarck Century for all the marbles this afternoon here at the Pepsi Rink at Mesa Arena in Minot, North Dakota. It's the rubber match of the Capital City Showdown where Bismarck Century comes in as the away team on the scoreboard tonight. They're the number 2 seed going up against Bismarck High. They'll be in their home whites. They're the number 1 seed. These two teams have matched up twice this year. Both times they went to overtime. The second it went to a shootout. A 1-goal differential between these two teams every time they played. And today, it's on a bigger stage. It's the West Region Championship game alongside of Noah Grant. I'm Nick Hulberg. Happy to have you aboard here on Pro Style Productions Broadcast Network. And this is one that we've been looking forward to for quite a while. We knew that these two teams out west were the top 2 teams in North Dakota high school hockey on the western side of North Dakota. They've really shown that here throughout the tournament. Getting back to the title game today, Bismarck High, certainly they're steamrolling in the points that they put up in the last 2 games. And Century having a nice game on Thursday afternoon and then giving it to Minot last night by a final of 4-1. Overall, your thoughts on the way these two teams have played here at tournament time? It just seems like the Patriots and Demons are certainly playing their best hockey entering this time of the year.
Yeah, obviously, they're powerhouses, in the West. And one of the things that I think, in terms of trying to see, who's going to be the better team, I kind of like the fact that, Century had maybe a little bit of a tougher opponent last night, kind of maybe got into a little bit more of, trying to get your legs moving a little bit, Bismarck High with a 9-0 win yesterday as opposed to Century playing, Minot in a little bit of a closer game. So I think maybe if, they were a little bit more engaged in their game last night, so I think that might help them. But I mean, you look at both these teams, Century, 128 goals for, 30 goals against. Bismarck High, 107 goals for, 47 goals against. You've got 2 strong goaltenders, and, Quinn Ackerman, for Bismarck High, he's allowed 31 goals. Matthew Schmidt for Century, he's allowed 16 goals on the year. So, I mean, it's going to be 60 minutes of hockey and maybe more that they're going to have to settle this, and they're going to really prove, who is the better team, because like we talked about in the previous game, both these teams, the difference here is they punch their ticket, but, all we've got here is a hockey game. The season matchups, 1-goal differential. At the end of the day, it's got to be settled right here.
Well, and it certainly will. After 51 minutes of this matchup, the number 1 seed out of the West region will be set. Both of these teams punch their ticket to the state high school hockey tournament that takes place in Fargo next week with their wins last night. Now, being the number 1 seed on the western side of North Dakota is obviously a great feat and a great accomplishment. You win the regular season crown, that's one thing. You get a good seed heading into the West region tournament. You win the West region tournament, and this year more than ever, more importantly, you stay on the other side of the bracket than the Grand Forks Central Knights, who have been an absolute war machine the entire season long. Nobody's been able to even hang with these guys all year long. And you know that if you have to play your toughest opponent the last game of the tournament for a state championship, certainly makes your life a little bit easier than having to play them maybe on Friday night and burn up all the gas in the tank. Your thoughts on what it means to be the number 1 team in the West?
Yeah, absolutely. Regular season is one thing. 2 points separated these teams in the regular season. 38 points to 40. But at the end of the day, if you can realize that arguably your toughest opponent coming from the East will be your make or break game to hoist a trophy over your head, it means that much more, instead of, maybe having yourself get beat up in the second day of the tournament to try to even get to the state championship. So, yeah, but, you can't look too far ahead. They have a game to play today, and like Troy Olson talked about, as we'll mention in his pregame interview, they're thinking about the team that they're playing in front of them. It's one game at a time. It's, one shift at a time, one period at a time, and build up those little things. And, at the end of the day, the opponent that you get is, a result of your play that you put before you. But they're also the opponent that's in front of you, and they're the task at hand, and you've got to make it happen.
Well, they're going to give it a try here tonight to see if they can be the number 1 seed. And yeah, you'll hear from both coaches next on their thoughts on that. I think Mike Peluso was more on my page with it. And like you said, Troy Olson had that mentality. You got to win 3 games to be a state champion anyway, so it doesn't matter when you do it. But in my mind, you want to be the number 1 seed heading into Fargo. You want to be the number 1 seed. And on the opposite side of that central bracket, and that, of course, is all speculation because Davies and Central are playing here today for the East Region Championship. When we come back to our Planet Pizza pregame show for this West Region title matchup, we're going to talk to Mike Peluso. Then we'll talk to Troy Olson. We'll hear the coach's thoughts heading in. Then we'll dive further into the numbers of this one. You're looking at some of the best players in all of North Dakota high school hockey. The West Region's top performers are in action here this afternoon. It's going to be a fun one. It's the West Region title matchup on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network. More of the Planet Pizza pregame show when we return. We'll hear the coach's thoughts for both teams next.
On the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's Finest Collision Center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS Store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork and their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank. Time for the Planet Pizza pregame Coach's Corner. Get your game plan for laser tag in the largest laser tag playground in the region. Did we mention the cheesy, delicious, mouth-watering first bite of a Planet Pizza pizza? Now, here's the matchups insight with the Planet Pizza Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to the Planet Pizza pregame show. We're now joined by the Bismarck Demons head coach, Mr. Mike Peluso. 11 years at this, Mike, and you guys seem to just continue to dominate here at the West Region Hockey Tournament. Happy championship day to you, and welcome to the show here tonight. Thanks for a little bit of time.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's always one of those deals where you coach all year and you never know what you've got, and then you try to get them to a certain point, and it's nice to see that they're able to play in the last game here at the WDA.
Well, it certainly is interesting when you look at the success that you've had since your time there at Bismarck High, and you guys are a powerhouse, and Century's a powerhouse again this year. I have an interesting question for you, and I got to be careful how I ask it, but a lot of people say Century's the top team out west, and you guys end up with the number one spot. You guys go toe-and-toe all year long. What do you say to people like that when they bring that up to you? Is there a political way you say it, or is there a nuts and bolts answer that you have on any of the maybe quote-unquote haters that say that Century's better, even though you guys ended up number one?
It is what it is. I always vote for Century to win the WDA and win the state. So I guess they must be right.
They're certainly a special team. That's your opponent today, and this is a team that you guys played twice in the regular season, overtime and a shootout, to just stellar games at VFW Sports Center. Is the best atmosphere for maybe any hockey at any level. It's unbelievable when those two teams get together down there. Talk about this rivalry and in town with Century and Bismarck High. It certainly is something special, certainly when we get to tournament time here.
Oh, yeah, and I would anticipate it being a great game again today. I mean, both our games have been overtime games. They've been close. Some squirrely things have happened within those games, and I'd anticipate much the same today. I mean, it really kind of boils down to, who can play a little bit more, concentrated defense and hold the guys at bay.
Special about today's game in my mind, when you look at the stat sheet, we're seeing the best two teams in the West Region hands down, and we're seeing some of the best hockey talent in all of North Dakota going at it today. It's kind of fun looking at the matchup with a guy like Nick Brown going against a kid like Dane Sardelli. They're built alike. They play alike. You guys add Caleb Petrie into the mix, and you got Joey Heinert up there who's back. Dayton Deeks, maybe the best defenseman in the West Region, and then Century's got those three D guys back there that are absolutely solid. Your thoughts on the makeup of these two teams? They're certainly not identical replicas of each other. You guys play a different brand of hockey in a way.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I think we've got three lines that can come out and play and kind of play with anybody. Century's got one line that's extremely dominant, and you got to watch them. They generate a lot of their offense off their backside, and you got to pay attention to that. So yeah, they're completely different teams. They can come at you. You got to be careful. You don't want to give them a lot of room and let them get free. But again, the teams for whatever reason match up extremely well, and I don't anticipate it being any different today.
Talk about a player for you, Dayton Deeks, on the back end, who's certainly one of your leaders there. And you've got plenty of guys that wear special letters on their uniforms representing their leadership of the hockey teams. But Deeks is just a kid that's really stood off the paper for me for his entire career at Bismarck High. He's only a junior. Touch on him just a little bit, will you?
Yeah, he's a forward converted to D, and I just felt that would be the place that he'd be able to have a chance to play at the next level. He's not the biggest guy, but he sees the rink really well. He moves really well. Just a real headsy player. I think his time in high school hockey has surpassed him. I think he needs to find a place to play next year and take his career to the next level. And I think he's a kid that'll do that. You look at our other two guys with Dane and Caleb. They'll end up playing somewhere next year. I know Caleb's protected by Estevan and Dane's protected by Portage la Prairie up in Manitoba. So all these kids are getting looks, and that's really exciting for me to see that they've worked hard and they've earned it.
Caleb Petrie is one of my favorite players to watch in the entire state of North Dakota. He's a guy that not only has 52 points, but he's a player that plays with an absolute edge, 45 penalty minutes on the year. He's kind of old school, 1990s high school hockey in my mind. Growing up here in Minot watching the SJHL, he would have been a great fit there. He's not afraid to put a stick into some guys once in a while. You like that edge and that style of play from a guy that leads your team in points?
Yeah, he's kind of tailor-made to my coaching style. So, he's a kid he's a workhorse. You got to tone him down at times, but boy, that's an incredible attribute for a young athlete that he just gives it his all every day, no matter if it's practice or games or what have you. He treats it like it's the last time he's ever going to play, and you know what, that's very rare in this day and age with high school kids. So yeah, everything he's gotten, everything he's done, he's earned.
On to goaltending, and the final question I have for you today, I would assume Matt Schmidt's going to go for Century. He's been their workhorse all year. Is it Ackerman for you guys today? A shake of the head says yes. And you look at these two kids with similar numbers and the best numbers in the West region. These goaltenders have both performed in these big games. And in my mind today, those two kids are going to have to be the best players on the ice if either team wants to win. What do you expect out of the goaltending matchup today? Is it going to be a low-scoring affair with two of the best in the West? Or is it going to be a shootout at the end of the game again here today?
Well, it's hard to say. It really depends on how those two kids play. It could open up a little bit, and all of a sudden, the score might get out of there a little bit. But our first game was 1-0, and our second game was 3-3. So it's hard to say. I don't know what to expect out of today. I know both teams are going to be ready and rearing to go, and it should be exciting.
West Region Championships are great, and having that accolade, I guess, on top of the season stats. But more importantly, you stay out of Grand Forks Central's bracket at the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament. And I guess I'm making that assumption as well, but Central is just dynamite. How important is that for you guys?
Well, it is. That's what you're trying to avoid them, obviously. It's no secret. If you don't, you got a little more work to do. You're going to have to, if you can figure out a way to win your first game, you'd have to play them in the second round. So one way or the other, if you're going to win the state title this year, you're going to have to go through Grand Forks Central some way, somehow. I personally, obviously, I'd rather see them on the last day of a tournament, but again, it is what it is. We can't sell our season short. If we end up out of here second seed, so be it. We'll go to work and do the best we can, and my hat goes off. They somehow figured out a way to win the West Region regular season title, and I'd really like to see them pull off the WDA championship today. As the voice of the Minot High Magicians, it's kind of awkward sitting here telling you that for the first time in my 7 years behind the mic calling a Bismarck High game. Frankly, today I don't care if you win or lose, and I'm happy to talk to you. Best of luck. I'm hoping for a good one here today. Well, you should get a good one. Absolutely. Thanks, man.
That's Mike Peluso, the head coach of the Bismarck High Demons. We'll talk to Troy Olson next. This is the West Region Championship on Pro Style Productions Broadcast Network.
Systems go for lunch when supper time's up front. T-minus now, it's time for Planet Pizza. With lots of space for fun, there's room for everyone. From me and Marianne to Planet Pizza. Space for Planet Pizza. Planet Pizza.
It's time for the Planet Pizza pregame Coach's Corner. Get your game plan for laser tag in the largest laser tag playground in the region. Did we mention the cheesy, delicious, mouth-watering first bite of a Planet Pizza pizza? Now, here's the matchups insight with the Planet Pizza Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to the Planet Pizza pregame show for this West Region Championship game. We've heard from Mike Peluso. It's time now to hear from the Bismarck Century head coach, Mr. Troy Olson, in his 14th year with the Century Patriots. And first of all, congratulations on another great year. Thanks for joining us here in the pregame show tonight for the West Region title game.
Well, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Man, this hockey team that you have is certainly fun to watch. You guys are one of the best in the state of North Dakota for 2 years now, and a team that finished number 2 in the West Region. You've got some of the best players to come through North Dakota high school hockey on the west side and in some time here. This Nick Brown player is certainly special. Your defensive core is special. Talk about your team as a whole and how impressive it is that not only were you guys good last year, you lose the top 2 players in the state, and you just pick up right where you left off here this year.
Yeah, it's been an adjustment, losing those 2 players. Like you said, they Kirkland Irie and Isaiah, provided a pretty good spark for our offense. And so nice to have all those guys you mentioned back, the nucleus of defensemen and Brown up front. And, the younger kids have kind of just filled in roles, and they're following the leadership of our seniors right now.
I asked Mikey P the same question. A lot of people talk about Century being the better team of you and Bismarck High. You guys split on the year. What do you say to people when they ask you who's better, you or Bismarck High? It seems like you guys are about as neck and neck as it gets.
It's incredible. The rivalry part of it, I think the kids grip the sticks a little tight, and the fans are there, and it's a big game, and everyone looks forward to it. And I think that adds to it a little bit. Sometimes the kids aren't as relaxed as they should be, but I would say man for man, we're pretty well matched. They're a good hockey team. They work hard and they're physical, and we try to do the same.
What is it about Bismarck Century and Bismarck High that brings out the best in those players? I mean, obviously the inner city thing is there, but it just seems like traditionally when you guys get to tournament time and that regular season play at the VFW Sports Center, there's nothing like a Demons and Patriots matchup.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. The kids, I've always said, are lucky to get to play in the kind of atmosphere. You don't see that in all high school sports, but I think these kids growing up, since squirts and peewees and bantams, playing against each other, playing with each other, when they get on the ice, there's nothing better than beating your friends.
Should be a fun one today when you go head-to-head with Mike Peluso's club. And, man, they've got some players over there that are certainly good as well. Dayton Deeks on the back end, maybe the best defensive player in the West Region, along with your 3 back there that I've been talking about all year long. And you got a guy like Petrie and Sardelli and Joey Heinert up front. What's your game plan today to try to win this West Region title match?
Well, I think we just need to do what we do well, play fast, chip pucks, be physical. Obviously, Mr. Sardelli needs to get a body on him. He's a big man, and he plays the game the right way. So if we get him time and space, he's going to hurt you. So we got to shut that line down if we can.
The final thing for you, obviously, it's nice to win a West Region crown and have that number 1 seed, but this year more than ever with Grand Forks Central, the way they're playing and how good they are, what is the message to your boys in the room, knowing that not only do you get the accolades to be in the top team out west, but you don't have to be in Grand Forks Central's bracket come next Thursday?
Yeah, right now at tournament time, you're right about that, but at tournament time, we just have the mentality we play who's in front of us. And obviously you want to give yourself the best chance to move on next weekend as possible, and that's obviously the most important thing about tonight is trying to get the 1 seed.
I told Mike Peluso the same thing, being the voice of Minot High hockey and being a fan of high school hockey in general for the first time. I don't care today whether you win or lose, so it's going to be a fun one. We're excited to call the game. Best of luck, and thanks for your time today.
All right, thanks.
That's Troy Olson, the head coach of the Bismarck Century Patriots. When we come back to the Planet Pizza pregame show, we'll launch this one off. It's the West Region title game. The Demons and Patriots. This is West Region High School Hockey.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Let's go to the ice with the voice of the Magi. Here's Nick Hulberg.
Well, tickled pink to be here for this one this afternoon. It's the West Region Championship game, and it's one we've looked forward to. Bismarck High, Bismarck Century. They're at the Pepsi rink here in the Magic City. The lights are off completely. The big booming PA voice of Dan Sim is introducing the visitors, the Century Patriots. He'll next do Bismarck High, the light show that you see at the MSU Beavers college hockey games and the Toros hockey games. That's blaring inside the arena with a great crowd on hand. The hockey lovers from around western North Dakota know what this one's going to be like today, so that's why they are here. That's why we've got a good crowd. They're boisterous as well. Well, what do we look for today? You look for some of the best players in North Dakota high school hockey to be on display. And you look for these two teams that split on the regular season. It took overtime in a shootout. Both times they played extra hockey to decide the winner. We're expecting more of the same here today. The Bismarck Patriots, number 2 in the West region. They finished 11-1-1 overall in the West region play. And when it was all said and done, they finished in the 2 spot right behind Bismarck High. 38 points for them. High ended up with 40. 19 wins, 2 losses, 1 overtime defeat overall in the year when they played outside of conference play. The Patriots are led by Nick Brown. He is the real deal. 51 points for him. 26 goals, 25 assists on the year. Carter Bailey, Peyton Sleddy, and Connor Hansen. They're all senior defensemen except for Hansen. He's only a junior. 36 points for Bailey, 28 for Sleddy, 28 for Hansen. You want to talk about a D-core that can set up the offensive rush and make things happen. You're going to see it this afternoon. The Century Patriot blue line is fantastic. On the other side for the Bismarck High Demons, they're led by Caleb Petrie. You heard me say it to Mike Peluso, one of my favorite players in all of the state of North Dakota. He plays with some grit, 45 penalty minutes on the year, leads the team in points with 52. 50 points for Dane Sardelli, second in scoring for the senior. 25 goals and 25 assists for him. 27 for the D-man, the junior, Dayton Deeks. And Joey Heinert in 13 games after missing the first half. He's got 19 points on the year. Goaltender matchup looks like this. Quinn Ackerman for Bismarck High. 1.9 goals against average. He sits on a .913 save percentage. Ackerman boasts a 12-2-1 mark. He's going to be ready to go tonight. He's going to have to be against this Bismarck Century team that, in my mind, might have the best goaltender in North Dakota on the other side of the blue paint, and that's Matt Schmidt. He was sensational last night. 1.22 goals against average and a 94% save percentage. AC/DC Thunderstruck blares inside a Pepsi rink here at the Mesa Arena. The Demons, 35 trips to the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament. They've been a contender in the last 10 a handful of times. They even have a banner that hangs inside their arena as the top team in North Dakota. They were state champions. Centuries never hung a banner, but they've been in the title game. They were there last year. Somebody's coming out of this next 51 minutes as the top seed in the West region, and we are underway for it. Bismarck High in their home whites. They've got maroon helmets, pants, and gloves on. It says Bismarck right across the belly. The Patriots are in their dark blues with red helmets, pants, and gloves. They're trimmed out red, white, and blue as Dane Sardelli's down to the offensive zone on Schmidt's blocker's side. He goes to work for it down low underneath the goal line. Petrie's in there to help out for the Demons. It's a 2-for-2 scrum as Petrie's going to come out with it. Bailey all over Petrie. Look out. First power play of the contest, and it's going to go for Bismarck High as Carter Bailey, the captain's going to the sin bin on a 2-minute trippic. We'll welcome in our second member of the broadcast team again, Noah Grant. Noah, intensity of this play certainly not lacking here this afternoon.
Yeah, it should be a good one, and an early penalty for the Patriots puts Bismarck High on the power play, and as we saw yesterday against Dickinson, their power play was absolutely electric. They moved the puck really well east to west and have a lot of good threats all over the ice.
First power play of the night is up, and it's the Demons with the man advantage. Not even a minute into the contest. Deeks is at the point, dropped it down. Here's Heinert, sends it in. And save is made there by Matt Schmidt with the stick. Comes back underneath the net now. It's Sardelli handling here. Sardelli out of Gretzky's office. Chips this one up off the boards. Back to the point. Deeks delivers off the wall. Dropped it back down to Petrie. The captain up to Deeks. Back over to Petrie. Far circle down to the near circle. Heinert sends it in. The stop is made from Matt Schmidt's blocker. Only one registered shot on goal. I believe he's got 2 saves early in this one, but not for me to debate, just to tell you about Bismarck High with the pressure early in this one. Minute 15 remains on the power play. Down low as Bailey's in the box for the next minute 10 on the tripping calls. It's going to be taken here by the Patriots. It's held in at the line. Nicely there by Deeks. We will have a stop of the play, and it's an offsides on Bismarck High, so the faceoff comes back out to the neutral ice zone a minute 33 in.
Yeah, interested to see whose game will take over tonight. Bismarck Century, kind of more of a speed-based team. Really likes to get that transition going, and for Mike Peluso's club and Bismarck High, they're a team that likes to grind, wear you down, and make sure you stay in your own zone.
Well, grind and wear you down is kind of what you got out of that. They certainly have some depth top to bottom. Century has that top line that's maybe the best in the state. You put them next to Grand Forks Central in that category. Nice block shot there. Is diving in front of that one was Crew Walker. Back up to Deeks at the line. He'll drop it down to Petrie. Far circle glove side. Turns it towards the net. Hansen got in the way of that one. Took it on the back of the ankle. He's up and all right. And now it's Walker back into the offensive zone for the Patriots. He's ridden off the puck there by Deeks. 30 seconds remains of the Bismarck High power play. It's taken here by Nick Brown at center ice. Brown and Sardelli toe-to-toe. Look at these two guys. Those are men amongst boys. Big-framed gentlemen there. They're two of the best in the West region. I've been looking forward to seeing these two go toe-to-toe all year long. Patriots dump it down in behind Ackerman, who waits on and looks forward now as the Demons push it up the far side wall, trying to gain it into the offensive zone. Was Walker. He can't quite do it. And now, with the help of Furman, he dumps it in. And we're back to 5-on-5. Thank you for the call, Dan Sam, inside the arena. Offsides on the Demons again. 14-17 here in the first, still scoreless.
Yeah, not a lot happening on that power play. Had a couple of opportunities early, but Century was able to shut it down. A couple of key block shots. Hansen with a big one right in front of his goaltender, and that's going to be important to not allow those grade A opportunities and get into the shooting lanes.
Face off right in front of Troy Olsen's bench. His Patriots win the draw, and it's Bailey that's got control here. Bailey threads the needle all the way down. That will go for an icing, so the face-off will come back on Matt Schmidt's blocker side. By the way, First International Bank and Trust is a proud member of the Minot and Bismarck communities. We stay true to our values by encouraging our staff to spend more time with family. By doing so, we spend more moments living in the moment. Member FDIC. Live first. Special thanks to First International Bank and Trust, proud supporter of North Dakota high school hockey and all of our broadcasts on ProStyleProduction.com. Hard shot comes in on Matt Schmidt, and the stop was made. That was Chase Furman bidding for one there. Furman looking for his 11th point of the year. Nice blocker save from Matt Schmidt, who's tested last night against Minot High and was sensational. He had 18 stops last night, and he had a couple highlight-worthy ones that were absolute robbery in the hockey game that kept Minot High from coming back in the contest. Nick Brown works it to the point. Bailey sends it forward. Puck is going to be worked up the far side wall and chipped ahead. It's going to roll all the way back in behind Matt Schmidt, and another icing here. Two teams feeling each other out early on. 13-26 to play in the first. Still a scoreless game.
Yeah, two teams that are feeling each other out, but are pretty fundamentally sound while doing so. We've probably seen about 5 or 6 block shots to begin with. The zone entries that it's been tough sledding, hard ice for both teams, and the transition game is going to be extremely important tonight.
Good crowd on hand here at the Pepsi rink at Mesa Arena. It holds 2,200. Here's a shot that came in from Bailey from the line. Ackerman made his first save of the game. Now Nick Brown from behind the net. Sipped in front, no one home, as Wald was the intended recipient, but no good there. Comes back in for Dayton Deeks in his own territory. Great conversation with Mike Peluso tonight. Got to respect Mike Peluso and what his hockey career was like and how he handles his club now. Talking about wanting to move Dayton Deeks on to the next level. He says that this kid's too good. His time has expired as a junior in high school. His senior year should be spent playing junior hockey somewhere. You got to really respect that from Mike Peluso, knowing that it's about player development. Championships certainly help things, but knowing that he's on the offensive side of getting his players up to the next level is certainly a great thing to hear out of Mike Peluso, former coach of the Bismarck Bobcats, assistant coach back in the day. Schulte back in over the line. He gets the junior game. Peluso played it himself and then played at University of Minnesota Duluth. Sardelli got into Sletty on the near side wall in the offensive zone. Big hit there from Sardelli. Comes back out to center, and it's hammered right back in. Peluso, of course, played in the National Hockey League as well for Philadelphia Flyers and Chicago Blackhawks. 12:07 to play in the first period. Neither team on the board yet. Big hit from Petrie. He throws the body into the wall on the near side, and Cullen Curl was on the wrong end of that. Back at center, there's a monster hit at center ice, and wake-up call was there. Olhauser sent a Patriot fly and didn't catch a number, and the hitting is picked up in this one. Frees room for Sardelli. He's in, and he whistles a high riser over Matt Schmidt on the blocker's side. It's back down low for Petrie, trying to center it in front. The moms and dads signed the permission slips tonight in this West Region title affair, didn't they? My goodness. Here comes Dayton Deeks. He's being hounded there by Reimer. Reimer's all over Deeks, and Deeks is going to escape the pressure. Deliver now back to his partner on the back end. That's Caden Sullivan. 6 points on the year for Sullivan. He went to the ice, and he's back up as there's a 2-for-2 scrum at the half wall on the glove side of Ackerman in the Bismarck high end. Out with it. Come the Demons. Preston Wachter had it momentarily. Right back in is Connor Hansen. Hansen walks, turns, and fires. Sent it wide on the blocker's side of Ackerman. Comes back away now to Nick Brown. He turns it in the corner. Brown spins it up to his backhand. Hits and one-timer. That's a howitzer. Oh, he scores in front of the net. The Patriots tuck it home. They strike for first blood tonight. My goodness, Brown to Hansen. Was it tipped in front or not? That thing had eyes on it. It was a rocket.
Yeah, and it all starts with going to the front of the net. A really gritty play, making sure you're getting bodies to the front of the net. And that's exactly what Century did. They had a really nice line change. The original group keeping the puck in the zone. Mid-change, the secondary flow comes in. Gets the puck to the point, low to high. Get bodies to the front of the net. Take away the goaltender's eyes, and it's 1-0 for Century.
I believe it's going to be 22 from 15. It's going to be 15 from 26, but Hansen's got to get credit on that goal. I don't think that's right. We'll see.
There's definitely a couple of Patriot bodies in the vicinity there for sure, and but that's just a good play, especially against the Bismarck High team that they love to hit. They're very physical and able to win a couple of puck battles along the half wall, get it to the point, and never a bad idea to shoot the puck.
Regardless, a 1-0 game. I'm pretty sure that was Connor Hansen that rifled that from the point, 22. We'll wait and see if there's a scoring change from the official call inside the booth. They give it to Nick Brown. He's got the first goal of the night. 52 points now on the year for Nick Brown. That's goal number 27. You want to talk about a player that continues to impress. Dumped in on Ackerman. Ackerman coughed it up. Now he's going to make an odd-angle save there on an odd-angle shot. As firing one on was Colton Schulte, who scored twice last night for Bismarck Century. He had the game winner after Nick Brown scored 12 seconds into the game against Minot High. When you talk about Nick Brown, 52 points now on the year. He had 46 last year as a junior. On the best team of the West Region, who won the West Region Crown and the regular season. He was one of the best in the business last year, but he was on a line with two of the best players to ever come through North Dakota high school hockey. Kirkland Irie, who finished with 80 points, and Isaiah Thomas, who had 77. You lose line mates like that, and things change for you, and he's amped it up this year, and he's up that point production without the top dogs that he had with him last year. Nothing against the guys he's playing with this year, but when you've got Isaiah Thomas on one side and you've got Kirkland Irie on the other, my goodness.
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime you can be, top 5 in points, it obviously helps your team that much more.
Out to center ice. Here comes Furman back to Petrie. Offensive zone, trying to send it in front. Furman scrubbing for it in the far circle. It's going to go back down to the corner offensive zone for the Demons. All the way back up to the point. Deeks will handle here, makes a fake at the line, sends it in. Petrie, no look, backhand pass in front of the net, shot save, rebound. Schmidt denies one there with the pad, and it's flipped up the wall where Nick Brown handles it. Tries to clear it out of the zone for the Patriots. Now with the help there of 26, Gavin Saylor, they do it to back on the retrieve in his own territory. It's Deeks who gets it up to Sardelli. He was met by Sleddy. Then the puck was taken away there by Damon Dixon and dumped back in to the Bismarck High net. Bismarck High end behind the net, I should say. Not to get confused with the second goal tonight. 8:40 to play here in the first period. Patriots are up 1-0. If you're just joining us online at ProStyleProduction.com, it was Nick Brown's 27th goal of the year. Back in with it. This is Bailey, turns it towards the net, fires, has a big hit on Deeks. Deeks goes flying. Somehow the Demons are out with the puck, and here comes Sardelli. Sardelli's in on the blocker's side as a streaking Petrie sent in front of the net, and Connor Hansen dives on the ice and makes an excellent stop on the defensive side there. Nice play from Connor Hansen. Puck's back in behind the net of Schmidt. Hansen's back on the retrieve. He wears a C on his uniform. He stick candles here behind Schmidt with 7:55 to play in the first period. His Patriots are up on the Demons 1-0. Century went 13-0 last year in the West Region. They made it all the way to the state tournament. They continued to win there, and they didn't get beat until they got to the state title game when they lost to Grand Forks Central in the state title game 4-2. Underneath the net, Demons trying to work it out in front. It's Hansen that takes it here. And look out, Hansen just takes the 9-iron out, flips that one up into the rafters, so we'll have a stop of the play, 7:30 to play. 1-0 in the first, Patriots on top.
Yeah, Hansen, with a really nice play, sliding across in a 2-on-1, for defensemen, you can't go down too early or too late on those 2-on-1s, and he recognized it perfectly, was able to take away a scoring chance, and, that's just the power of the Century defensive core.
Off the draw, the puck is worked back. The Demons have control of it. That's Olhauser. He loses it now, and up to center ice. This is Gavin Saylor in. Saylor down low to Nick Brown. He's back behind the net of Ackerman. Goes back away to the far side wall. Now the Demons have a 2-on-1. Sardelli's in with Petrie. The one back is Sletty. Sardelli sent it up over the net to the glove side and wide as it's going to come back out to center ice for Austin Wald. Wald hits the brakes right inside the blue line, goes back in behind the Bismarck high net, and on the retrieve, it's Sardelli on the near wing. He's going to flip this one up to center, and with a backhand, it's taken and dumped ahead forward there by the Demons and Landon Fisher. Back up at the point. Puck is handled here by Caleb Moore. He'll send it down low to Petrie. Trying to deliver in front to Chase Furman. Couldn't do it. It's taken here by Sletty. He clears the zone with it. And now it's Deeks that transitions it right back through center. Dumps it in. Look out. Oh, my goodness. Dayton Deeks shot it from in between the blue line and the red line in the neutral ice zone on his side of the red line. That one was from outside the checkered stripe at center. And Matt Schmidt had trouble with it. Kind of corralled it and then ended up doing a twister and falling back on it inside the blue paint.
Yeah, not exactly a characteristic play by Matthew Schmidt, but dodged a bullet on that one and time to regroup.
Carter Bailey handles here in his own territory. The puck is going to be worked up now into the offensive zone. The Patriots are in. The stop is made by Ackerman, and there's a crash into the net. Two players are back up. Schulte's one of them. He's back out of the blue paint and back out at center ice. The puck comes back into Bismarck high territory now with Dayton Deeks. 6:05 to play in the first period. Mandan stamped their ticket to the state high school hockey tournament, only the 6th time in program history. Congratulations to Leif Madsen and his group. Getting back to the state tournament, back behind the net. Schulte tried to center it in front. Comes back away now to Gavin Saylor, and the Demons intercepted. Moving ahead forward. Scrum forward as Caleb Moore is back in his own territory to retrieve. Deeks is on the retrieve back behind the net. With a hard backhander, sends it up to the line for Bailey in front of the net. In on Ackerman. He's going to be forced to make the stop, but Ackerman will hang tight to it as that one tipped in front of the net. Nice redirection play. And the Bismarck high goalkeeper falls down onto the Vaughn pillows and hangs tight.
Yeah, this zone time for the Patriots all starts because of their defensive core being able to read and react. They've made it tough for Bismarck High to move out of their zone cleanly and try to get that cross-ice stretch pass.
Minot High is the other team that will represent the West Region at the hockey tournament in Fargo, the one that all of us high school fans love so much. It's the North Dakota State Hockey Tournament. Shields Arena next week. Mandan, number 3 seed. Mandan, number 4 seed. Minot, number 3 seed. Winner of this one will be number 1. Loser of this one will be number 2. Sardelli tattoos it up towards the net. That was a high riser, almost a headhunt there from Sardelli, and it comes all the way down, back in behind Ackerman. 5 to play in the first period. Demons are down to the Patriots, 1-0. Sardelli cranked at center ice. Nice hit there from David Dixon. Rides Big Dane Sardelli off the play. The Demons dump it down in behind the net of Schmidt, and now it's Bailey back on the retrieve, who brings it back forward to center with Damon Dixon. He dumps it down to the corner on the blocker side of Ackerman. Ackerman looks on the goal crease now as Deeks starts the rush back up to center, and Deeks, a swift skater, lost a handle on it, then sneaks around a man into the offensive zone after he soccered it to himself, tried to pass it in front, comes back around, looking for the wraparound here to the point, handling, turning, firing. The stop is made on the blocker's side there from Matt Schmidt, and an excellent attempt from Caden Sullivan. Sullivan handles again at the blue line, drops it down into the corner here for Joey Heinert. Heinert's only played 13 games on the year. He's got 19 points on the season. He was second in scoring last year for the Demons, finishing with 26 points. A nice addition having Heinert back in the lineup after he missed the first few months. That was a big hit at center ice. Retrieving the puck after he was cranked on. That's 26, Caden Sullivan. And Sullivan, the D-man, dumps it right back in. Patriots are going to bring it right back out at center. They move it across. This is Colin Curl for the Patriots. Hard on the forecheck there for the Demons was Braxton Neese to the puck. Rolls in on Matt Schmidt, who just pushes it to the corner where Peyton Sleddy slows it up and takes it behind the net. Sleddy almost coughed that one up to Preston Walker. The puck is flipped up to center ice. And on the retrieve for the Patriots, at center there was Colin Curl. Sleddy's going to touch it. What do we have here? Power play time coming. Eric Steele has a tripping call. Casey Lang's the other referee. Eric Steele and Casey Lang, by the way. Kevin Wilk and Mike Kelly Sr. It's a full crew of minor guys here for this one. Into the box on the 2-minute trip goes Patriots skater number 18, Colin Curl. So the power play comes back out for the Demons.
Yeah, another opportunity here now. 0-0 on their first power play. Now a chance for them to climb back into the game. You know, like we talked about before, they've got a lot of options and really nice puck movement. And Matthew Schmidt's going to have to be strong on this kill.
Well, Matt Schmidt comes in with some impressive numbers, 94% save percentage and a 1.22 goals against average. He also has 3 of those sacred things that we can't say the name of due to goaltender superstition. And if there's Patriot fans that hear me say that word, they'll probably lose their mind and throw something right through the computer screen. So we'll keep that word on the down low. It's the word, of course, that means that he's just flawless in a hockey game. 2:47 on the power play. Demons trying to pop one past him now as Dane Sardelli's picked off, and here comes Nick Brown shorthanded. Brown's in, he's got one tonight, looking for 2, fires big pad save. Nice stop there from Quinn Ackerman. That could have been a dagger early in this one. Shorthanded opportunity for Nick Brown. He went coast to coast, and Nick Brown wanted point number 53, but Ackerman got the Vaughn leg pad in the way on the glove side and said, I don't think so. Back at the point, it's Deeks, sends it across. Joey Heinert calling for it is Deeks. Down low to Petrie. Wears a C on his jersey as one of the captains, off to Sardelli. He'll just send this one around the sideboards back to the point. Deeks center slot. Here's a wrister, sends it in, loose in front of the net. Comes back away. The Patriots are going to push it back out to center. 43 seconds remains on the power play for Bismarck High. Their second of the night. In the box is Colin Curl on the tripping call for the next 35 seconds. A minute 49 remains here in the first period. Carter Bailey takes the puck away. He's tripped on the play. And now we're going to skate 4-on-4 for 27 seconds. As into the sin bin, it's going to go Jack Steckler. And after that, though, we're going to see Century's first power play of the night.
Yeah, there's some penalties that you definitely can argue, and that one wasn't one of them. A pretty cut and dry trip there. You know, if you're the Demons, you've got 20 seconds, then you're on the kill. But the nice thing is there's only 1:43 left on the clock, so might be able to split this power play a little bit and kill it off and go down 1-0 into the period, or maybe find a shorthanded goal as well.
15-17 mark of the first period. Skater number 15, Jack Steckler, 2 minutes tripping. That's 2 minutes tripping. Skater number 15 at the 15-17 mark.
Well, there you hear Dan Sem with the call on him. 4-on-4 for the next 10 seconds, and after that, the Patriot power play comes out. They lead 1-0. A minute 22 to play here in the first. If you're just joining us, it was the 27th goal of the year for Nick Brown.
5-on-4 hockey.
Patriots are at full strength. The Demons are pressuring on the penalty kill here. Down to the offensive zone for the Bismarck High Demons, and hard on the forecheck is Braxton Neese, but now with the puck is Sleddy, and Sleddy.
1 minute to play, first period, 1 minute.
Thank you, Danny Sim. Sleddy got it up to Nick Brown. Brown's going to crash towards the net. Brown takes it in. Oh, man, he tucked it home as he undresses Ackerman. Second goal of the game for Nick Brown. Goal number 28. And the Patriots score the power play. It's 2-0.
Well, we weren't sure if he was the official goal scorer on the first one, but he definitely earned that second one. Taking his own initiative and comes from the outside, burns the defender wide. I always like that play. You know, you don't have to have a fancy move to beat a defender. Cuts across the crease, a real power forward move. And Century with kind of a backbreaker late in the first.
Well, they give up a goal in the final minute. Here the Demons. Let's listen in to Dan Sim.
Power play goal at 16:09 in the first. Skater number 15, Nicholas Brown. Assisted on the play by 22, Connor Hansen. That's 15 from 22. A power play goal at 16:09 in the first.
Dayton Deeks back in behind his own net. Works it up the far side wall. Trying to get it off to Sullivan. Comes back to Hansen. We're down to the final 20 seconds here of period number one. It's the Nick Brown show tonight. He's got two of them in this contest. One on the power play, one even strength. All right, kids, time to count them down. We're at 10, 9, 8, 7. Century Patriots are standing on their bench. The Demons are seated. Certainly a little more life for the team that's got two, and that's the Patriots after one. 17 minutes in the books in the West Region title match. This one far from over, but right now it's Century that's got the 2-goal lead. We'll go to our first International Bank and Trust intermission report. We'll come back and tell you how they got there. We'll also talk to Bob Gillen, North Dakota State High School hockey statistician. He's also the general manager of the Mesa Arena and the Pepsi Rink here. Another fine job by this crew with the tournament for WDA hockey. This is a fantastic one. And the title game right now belongs to Century. 2-0 at the end of one.
On the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork in their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Nick Brown came into last night sitting on 25 goals and 25 assists, good enough for 50 points. And Brown tore it up last night. He scored 12 seconds into the game against Minot High. He's got the same kind of night going tonight. He's got 2 goals for the Bismarck Century Patriots. They lead at the end of 1 over Bismarck High in the West Region title game, 2-0. Brown got the first one at 6:10 of the first. Bismarck Century even strength goal. It was Gavin Saylor that got the assist on it. And then at 16:09, it was Nick Brown from Connor Hansen. I thought it was Hansen that had that rifled shot from the point. So Hansen gets the assist on Brown's second. That was a power play goal for the Patriots. Shots were 8-6 in favor of the Patriots in the first period. 6 saves for Quinn Ackerman, 6 of 6 for Matt Schmidt. 8 shots on goal for Ackerman, 6 for Matt Schmidt, 2-0 at the end of 1. Now joined by the Mesa Arena manager and the North Dakota High School Hockey statistician, Mr. Bob Gillett. And first of all, Bob, fantastic job with everything you do. We sure appreciate your time here today. I know that you're busy right now with running the Mesa Arena, your North Dakota Hockey stats page, your highschoolhockey.com stats page. Thanks for some time this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and it's been a good 3 days. And haven't done this last year in this new rink. You just take the blueprints from last year and get ready to run it again. So it's really been a smooth year this year after doing it last year as well.
Well, when we talk about the Mesa Arena, the Pepsi rink versus some other venues across Western North Dakota for WDA, and even the state tournament, when you talk about that transition from the Ralph to the Shields Arena and how much the environment changed in 2015 when the tournament was played at the Shields Arena compared to the Ralph. We all love the Ralph. I mean, who isn't a UND hockey fan, you know? And the Shields Arena is great as well, but you get that intimate environment down there at the Shields Arena that makes it fantastic for everybody involved for the state tournament. When you talk about the West Region tournament and this Pepsi rink here at Mesa Arena, in your mind, is there any way that this could be a better facility for high school hockey tournaments? I mean, it just seems like the perfect size, first and foremost. The place has good vocals in here. It's loud. The acoustics are great. Lighting's good. Overall, I mean, this is the place to have that, isn't it?
Well, there has been some talk. I know the West Region coaches had their meeting Thursday instead of the traditional Saturday, and there was some discussions about, trying to pitch to the coaches next week at the state coaches meeting, and then also start getting the administrators to talk about saying, is there ever a chance we can move it and give it, a tryout here. I think all games except maybe the championship is what people would probably, we see it about 2,100 without standing room. The championship games have lessened over the years, which is sad for high school hockey, but they're getting 3,000 to 5,000 depending on who the teams are and what venue we're in out east. But I certainly would like to try a girls tournament out here. I know the girls coaches would like to do it, but they're trying to find a date that doesn't conflict with another state tournament, state championship of another sport, and that's the administrators and high school activities are trying to work around. But it may come, and I think this would be a great venue. I think people, once they get here, it'd be packed, it'd be loud, great, good sight lines, and got a great light show and nice press box. We have locker rooms, the teams can keep their stuff, which isn't always the case in the other venues, and so I think all the way around, plenty of parking. I just think it'd be a great fit, and hopefully it'll give us a shot here in the next few years.
One of the things that I hear a lot of people talking about on the player personnel side is that you've got a separate entrance for the buses to pull up and drop those players off. That's a nice touch, being able to have that after heartbreaking losses or a big win. And sometimes we see where these games, even at the high school level, can get a little rowdy at times. So it's nice, kind of like a pro rink where you just leave out the side door. And you mentioned the community room and the hospitality, and just overall, I got to tell you, fantastic job. You run this facility, and you do such a great job doing that. Any hiccups on this tournament this year? You said the blueprint was there from last year. I mean, it seems like a flawless show from my point of view. I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, it's just some minor little small things, but it's mostly Mother Nature. We had a little bit of snow to remove Thursday morning, and but again, my crew gets here at 5:30 in the morning, and by the time the people start showing up 9:30, 10, they wouldn't even know that we had snow. So it's just those little things, and then you have need a key for this, or the garbage changed in the locker room, or just minor things the fans wouldn't even see. But Mitch Lundy and his staff and their ticket takers, hospitality people run that side of things. Larry and Brandon McFall, my main ice guys, they do their thing, which they do the Toros and Minot State games. So this is nothing nothing new, nothing special for them. They're used to being in front of thousands of people and doing their thing, and they enjoy doing it and do a great job. And all my other staff, I just, I get the credit, but I've got a good team here, and the Park District, Jared Olson and Ron and Ellie and all of us, we just enjoy doing these events and have such a good team, and our maintenance staff, it makes my job real easy, and it makes me look good, but I couldn't do it without them.
Well, let's turn gears now with that praise coming your way and relay it to your staff, because it certainly has been a successful week for WDA hockey, without a doubt, here at the Pepsi Rink, which you manage. You also have a side job that kind of goes underneath the radar in a lot of senses, and that's that you're the North Dakota High School Hockey statistician. You run NorthDakotaHighSchoolHockey.com, and I tell you all the time that this is what you do for youth hockey and what you do for high school hockey, the promotion of our players. Without the website that you run, without the stats that you run, I guarantee that we would have a big margin of these guys that don't get promoted onto the next level, and they never would without those stats being live in real time like they are from day to day. Fantastic work with NorthDakotaHighSchoolHockey.com. Before we get an update about out east and your thoughts, whatever got you into doing that and starting that website? Anybody that knows NorthDakotaHighSchoolHockey.com, they live by this. They're there every day. You have to have thousands of hits on this site during hockey season. I know I'm there 2-3 times a day looking at stats. I mean, whatever brought you to start doing that, Bob? And we sure appreciate that you do.
Well, when I was coaching high school in Hazen back in the late 90s, before internet really got big, I was doing the standings for everyone, because you couldn't find it, in the papers. They just have scores once in a while. So when I moved to Grand Forks to be the hockey coordinator there at the Park District, Dean Wilson was still coaching Fargo South at the time. Now he's back behind the bench for Davies, ironically. But he said, "Hey, would you ever want to, do this and stay involved? Because I know you were doing the standings and that's when websites and the internet was starting to really get, going in the early 2000s. And I've always been a stat person. I used to do softball stats for my dad growing up and bat boy, and so I really enjoyed doing it. And I just thought it was just a way for me to stay in the game. I really got close with a lot of the coaches and referees around the state, and I didn't think I'd be here 20 years later doing this. And then over the years, I got a new webmaster, and he kind of developed the site we're on now back in 2007, so I can have archive stats. I wish I could have all the ones since I started, but it's just been great, and it's mostly, like you said, I'm not doing it for my satisfaction and to get pats in the back. It was to promote kids, to give the media access. I know coaches don't like keeping stats, and to try find stuff to do stories or, pre-post game shows. I know that helps you guys out in the media, and also for former players, coaches, grandparents. I get snowbirds in Arizona, Florida that follow their grandkids that can't come to the games, and that's the real reason I've been doing this, is just for those reasons. And as long as my wife lets me keep doing it, I still plan on keeping going. And I want to thank High School Activities Association, because they don't have to let me do this. They've got technology where other sports have people, the schools can enter their own stuff and goes into a mass thing. But Matt Fetch and Dave Carlson, he was in that position, said, you know what, the coaches really want you. And so that's what we've been doing, and as long as you allow me to do it, I'll keep doing it.
Well, and I have to ask you this question. I mean, I know that you're not making a ton of money off of it. You're certainly not getting rich off of this, if you're even making any money off of it. I know that. How many hours a week are you putting in during hockey season of making sure that things are up to date? I mean, this is a job that for that love of the game and for the love of the kids. I mean, you're putting some serious hours in, aren't you, Bob, when we're talking about this?
It's about 20 hours a week. Now, obviously, at the start of the year, I have to input all the rosters and get all the schedules in. Now, this time of the year, I'm entering in, all the tournament stuff, and I'll start doing a little more feature stuff now heading into state and that. But, yeah, it's about 20 hours a week. You're looking at 4 or 5 days a week, because there's games pretty much other than Mondays and Wednesdays. There's games. So, but, yeah, I get a little stipend, and then I pay my webmaster some money. But so I get a little stipend. But, for the hours you put in, it turns out to be pennies over the course of the 3 months. But we get over 1 million hits in 3 months. Now, that's a lot of repeat users because I'm on it, you're on it like you said. But, yeah, we're over 1 million hits over a 3.5 month span each year now the last 2 years. So that's great. So that means it's getting utilized, and that's what I'm hoping for.
NorthDakotaHighSchoolHockey.com. And if you're a hockey fan, you've been to the site, we're talking to the gentleman that runs it, that created it, and that continues to put the hours in for the right reasons to promote our players through that site. Let's talk now and turn gears to the action at hand. I mean, no real upsets here in the West Region here this week at the West Region Hockey Tournament. Our seeds that were supposed to win, quote-unquote, kind of did across the board. Maybe a few in the lower rankings, but overall, no big upsets here. How about out east? Is there anything that's really hopped off the paper and the stat sheet to you is a big upset out there? Central seems to just keep rolling, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's Central and everybody else. But yeah, today in the qualifying games, Red River beat North 4-1. Red River's the 4 seed. And then West Fargo and South Shanley just got done. It was 3-3 going into the third, and then South got a late goal, and then it added 2 empty netters. So it was 6-3, but it was actually a 1-goal game. I thought West Fargo might be able to knock them off. South Shanley was the 2 seed, lost last night to Davies, the 3 seed. So the top 4 teams will advance. Not in the same order they finished the regular season, but over the course of the year, they were the top 4 teams. And I think Mandan, Dickinson and Jamestown might be all similar. People are probably a little surprised Mandan just because Dickinson had beaten them 5-0 and I think 3-1 during the course of the year, and then to get shut out, maybe it was a little bit of a shock. But I think all 3 of those flip a coin. I think they could all on a given day beat each other. And Minot, I think they've just been getting better and better and better as the year goes on. I know they played some of the Eastern teams and maybe didn't fare too well, but I just think they may be a team to be kind of the dark horse at state because they have a lot of momentum and confidence. I just think from the start of the year when they lost to Mandan until now, it's a different team, and hopefully they can do that. And of course, these 2 Bismarck teams on a given day can play with the Eastern teams as well.
You've had the opportunity over your coaching career and all the way through with what you continue to do. It's fun to see when teams like Century and High get together. They're so evenly matched up, but they're so much different in their chemical makeup of how they operate. Century's top unit, and then you've got High that's just kind of spread out across the board, but they've got some of the top players. It's fun to see when there's that top tier of guys at Western North Dakota, especially when they're both coming out of Bismarck for dogfights like these. What do you expect in the second and third period of this West Region title game?
Well, I don't want to take sides, but I thought Century might win this one 4-2 at the start of the game. I think that they have maybe a little more skill and speed. The Bismarck's got the top line there with Sardelli and Petrie, but Century, when they're moving and flying, they can play. But again, it's Bismarck. I don't expect this to be a 2-goal game at the end, and we'll see. But I hope the West goes out, and I think people were kind of thinking it's going to be all East final this year. But I think Red River's beatable, South Shanley's definitely beatable, and Minot I think is going to be the scary team to play because they keep playing like they are.
I sure appreciate your time, Bob. I speak for a lot of people when I say sincerely thank you for all you do for North Dakota high school hockey. It's fantastic that you continue to do what you do.
Well, thanks for having me, and great job what you're doing as well. Thanks,
Sure appreciate you. That's Bob Gillen. He's the Mesa Arena manager. He's also in charge of North Dakota High School Hockey.com. And I tell you what, that's all serious stuff right there when you talk about what he does to promote high school hockey players with the work he puts in. Fantastic. We sure appreciate him. Second period's underway. Minot High is into the state tournament. Mandan's into the state tournament. Century's in. Bismarck High's in. We're not sure their seeds yet. We got to play 16 minutes and 33 seconds here. The second, then the third. Century's up 2-0 on Nick Brown's 2 goals. It was Hansen that got the assist on the second one. That slap shot from the point. And Gavin Saylor had the other assist. Shots in the first period favored Century 8-6. Defensive zone for the Patriots. They're going to try to work it out of their own end and push it up to center ice, but they can't. It's held in there and dumped back down by Landon Fisher. Back in behind the net on the glove side of Schmidt. Puck comes away to Bailey. Now up it comes. Forward for the Patriots to center. Wald is hit there and hard on the near side wall by Dayton Deeks. And look out. Big hit right in front of us, right at the penalty box door. Eric Steele's arm went up immediately, so did Casey Langs, and on the ice and up and okay is Gavin Saylor, but is this going to be a 5, do you think?
Yeah, anytime you see numbers, you've got to be careful and, make sure you slow up, and definitely a dangerous play, and I could see it going either way on this one.
Well, they're having quite the conversation about it right now. 5-minute boarding is the call. And Mike Peluso is not liking that call. You can tell by his body language over at the Bismarck High bench. That will be a dagger to kill off here for the Bismarck High Demons. 5-minute major on the boarding call that was just handed out to Landon Fisher. Now, it is important to know in North Dakota high school hockey, any checking from behind or any boarding call is worthy of a 5-minute major. That's the new rule. They want to get rid of that. 100% across the board. It wasn't as vicious as a 5-minute boarding as that you would think if you're used to hockey at higher levels, just for the record, but nevertheless, a boarding is a boarding, and it's worth 5 minutes in high school competition. Carter Bailey at center is going to fire this one in around the end wall. Back in behind the net of Ackerman. Up to the point. Hansen with 1 assist tonight. Delivers back down low in the far circle. Far wing. Glove side of Ackerman. It comes back up to Hansen. Hansen whistles one in. That one hit traffic there. Went off the glass, and it's picked up here by the Patriots again. They work it back away. Slap shot comes in. That was a howitzer from the line, and Bailey was stoned there on a nice stop from Ackerman. Important for Ackerman to have some big saves here to start off the second period after getting scored on late to the first. A minute remaining in that first period when Century's Nick Brown got his second of the night. 3:50 of power play time. It's a major power play. That's what remains here for the Patriots as Dane Sardelli dumps it down. In on Schmidt, and Schmidt makes his 7th stop of the hockey game. Puck taken here by the Patriots. They go up to center with Cullen Curl. He's going to walk over the Demon blue line, drops it off. Here's Schulte, center slot. Oh, Schulte was robbed by Ackerman. Might have hit the goalpost. Heard it go clank. A drive comes forward. That one. And now it's all of a sudden Petrie shorthanded. He's in on a breakaway. Petrie in, fires. Oh, the pad save was made from Schmidt. He denied him. Huge save from Matt Schmidt in a clutch situation as Caleb Petrie came in looking for point number 53 on the year. That would have been goal number 26, and Matt Schmidt puts out the right pad and says, I don't think so. Huge save there.
Yeah, extremely nice save. You know, came out and challenged the shooter and was able to kind of force him to shoot instead of making a move. It's tough to make a move, you know, with the in a 2-0 hockey game, especially a game that can really determine seedings going into next week. You know, Matthew Schmidt showed us, you know, why his numbers are the way they are and why he's having such a stellar season with, you know, a beautiful save.
Well, it's interesting when you look at Matt Schmidt and what he did last year. He only played in 4 games for Bismarck Century. He went 2-2. He played in 6 last year. Hansen goes to the other end of the ice. Oh, big hit. Hansen goes flying into the goal, and Hansen's still on the ice. He's in all sorts of pain. Will the Trinity trainer come out here onto the ice? Hansen's going to get back up. That was a vicious hit there, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, he came in with a lot of speed and, you know, caught the net. And, I mean, we heard that thought all the way up here, and, you know, it's good to see him get up under his own power.
Going back to Matt Schmidt, he was 4-2 last year. He had an .865 save percentage and a 2.2 goals against average. But when you look at the reason he only played that many games is that you had guys like Cooper Leininger with a 1.73 goals against average and a 92% save percentage. And they also had Colton Kringsted, who went 7-1 with a 209 and an 882. You might be asking, well, who played in the state championship game against Grand Forks Central? It was Leininger that they rode basically all the way through. Leininger was their man come tournament time last year. Kringsted played the first game of WDA, and then they rode Leininger the rest of the way through at the Ralph Engelstein Arena in Grand Forks. Schmidt's been the guy this year for Bismarck Century. He's got a goose egg on the board right now. The Patriots, his club, have 2 goals, both coming off the tape of Nick Brown. Patriots have 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining of power play time as Sleddy's back in his own territory to retrieve it. Sleddy launches it up to center. That one goes off of Braxton Neese, and now it's taken and sent all the way down. That one from about 170 feet out was one that Schmidt had to be careful on. Went into the butterfly and made the stop, and now here comes Schulte back into the offensive zone. 2 goals last night for Schulte. He had the game winner against Minot High in the semifinals. He drops it down to the corner. Comes back around from Cullen Curl on the near side. It's taken by Chase Furman, and he fires it out to center, but Saylor was there, and Saylor just moves it right back in. Now Furman looked right at us here in the press box. If that glass would have been here, we would have taken one right in the kisser. No, that thing was flying. It hit the glass and went to the other end of the ice.
Well, the nice thing is I'm paired with a former goaltender up here, so I think it would have been all right.
Well, I was only on the JV team. Back in behind the net of Ackerman. Puck lays behind the goal line. It's a 2-for-2 scrum. Minute 19 remains here on the Bismarck High penalty kill as it comes back away for the Demons, and they launch it all the way down from Isaac Olhauser. First one down, there's Chase Furman, shorthanded. Oh my goodness, Petrie was wide open in front of the net. Furman couldn't get it to him. Comes back away, and now the Patriots bring it back out to center with Jaden Reimer. He's whistled for the offside. 12:02 to play in the second period. Patriots are up 2-0. Your thoughts on this Bismarck High penalty kill? They've got it dialed in.
Yeah, you definitely read my mind there. 56 seconds left off of the 5-minute major, and I mean, it's been everything they wanted him to. I can't even think of a grade A chance that has happened on this power play for the Patriots. So, I mean, you know, if you're Mike Peluso and his crew, you're definitely happy with the result so far.
Connor hands it over to Bailey. He sends it in, and on the retrieve is Caden Sullivan. Sullivan sends it down the length of the ice. Hansen hounded there by Petrie, and Petrie's on it with Bailey in the far corner. Offensive zone for the Demons. Sardelli's back at center. He moved it back into his own territory. And this Demon kill looks good. They're back in, shorthanded. Petrie kicks it back across Sardelli. Sardelli spins it back door. Oh, Matt Schmidt made a big save. Hand came up, and Petrie was robbed with the help of Sardelli. That one would have been a highlight-worthy goal right there if they could have found a way to get it by Matt Schmidt. He's tested again. Short-handed were the Demons, and Petrie and Sardelli, their top two performers up front, are denied by the Century net keeper. That same Century net keeper bangs his stick on the ice right now. You can hear it. Basically what that means is he's letting his defenseman know that the Bismarck High player number 24, Landon Fisher's just about out of the box on the 5-minute major boarding call, and Bismarck High is going to go perfect here in the second period on their penalty kill. They had one power play goal that they gave up in the first. Patriots scored one on the power play, so the Demons penalty kill is going to go 1 for 2, but it's a 5-minute major that they kill off here. Back behind the Demon net, puck is handled by Olhauser. Moved up to center ice, and the Demons are back in with it. Over the line, Farnsworth sends it towards the cage, back underneath the goal. Scrubbing forward down low is Nick Mortensen. Farnsworth sends it in front. Heinert trying to dish it back door to Farnsworth. Heinert has it again. Nice play from Joey Heinert. Delivers back behind the net. Farnsworth is there. 2 for 2 scrum, and now the third Patriot comes in. It's Sleddy, and Sleddy moves it up to center ice. Put that one right on the tape for Damon Dixon. Big hit on the far wall as it's taken and sent down low from Dixon. Joey Heinert in the corner working on it there. The puck's going to go back away at the half boards. Trying to clear it out are the Demons, but the Patriots handle it. It's worked back down to the corner from Jaden Reimer. Flipped up to center. This one's going to roll all the way down. Will it be an icing? Nope. Kind of like a game of shuffleboard. Puck just didn't make it to the end line. Would have been worth 2 points. Maybe you're not old enough for shuffleboard yet. Here's a drive that comes in and went just wide. Have you ever played the game?
No, we have electronic devices. You know how us millennials are.
You don't, I mean, you've never played shuffleboard.
I mean,
do you even know what shuffleboard is?
I know what shuffleboard is for sure. I mean,
here's Bailey back into the zone, trying to set it in front, comes back away to Dane Sardelli, and Sardelli moves it up onto the tape here for Petrie, and Petrie walks into the zone. Trying for the hit was Hansen, and Hansen's going to have an interference call sent his way, and I don't know if that's the right call. You agree?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's kind of, we're seeing this a lot, you know, in the National Hockey League now. You know, defensemen where they've essentially gotten beat on the play and they decide to kind of ride the guy off a little bit. I mean, turn your feet and pursue the puck, and, you know, you don't need to have to ride that line. If you can avoid it, turn your feet and make the play, but regardless, you know, the Patriots will adversity for them.
Face off on the blocker side of Matt Schmidt. Demon power plays back out. Comes back all the way down on the glove side of Ackerman. Felt like Hansen tried to complete the hip check, and he didn't have any success. Those two came together. Regardless, it is interference, so he's in the box for the next 2 minutes, and the Demon power play is up for the third time in the hockey game. They're down 2-0 with 9:18 to play here in the second period. Patriots on top. If you're just joining us, Nick Brown's offensive skills shining tonight. Goals 27 and 28 on the year for points 52 and 53. And Nick Brown has been lighting it up as of late. And by as of late, I mean his junior and senior campaigns. This kid is solid. Nick Brown came into tonight's game number 5 in the state of North Dakota in scoring. He passes Caleb Petrie with those 2 points here tonight, who is number 4 in the state of scoring. Petrie had one more point than he did, 52 to 51 coming in. Will that change tonight? Look how Brown is going to put the lumber to the legs of Dayton Deeks, trips him up. Off comes the extra attacker as Ackerman goes to the bench. And we'll have a stop of the play. This will be a 5-on-3 power play for Bismarck High here with 8:42 to play in the second.
You know, if Bismarck High was looking for an opportunity to climb back in this game, plenty of time left, but, you know, for a 5-on-3, you know, Matthew Schmidt, again, he's gonna have to be the guy right here because, you know, 5-on-3s with extended time, you know, they create a lot of opportunities, and if you're Bismarck High, you can't sit back on a 5-on-3. Don't try to be too cute. Make sure you threaten the crease and get pucks to the net.
Right in on Matt Schmidt off the draw and rolls right to the blue paint, and he's just going to fall on top of that one. Well, Bismarck High is the team that comes in number 1 in the West. And they have been good for quite some time. They outscored their opponents this year 107 to 47 on the season. Century's got impressive numbers like that as well. In front of the net. Back up to the point for Heinert. Now Dayton Deeks near wing. Top of the circle for Petrie. Glove side. Back up to Deeks. Down low. Delivered to Heinert. Far circle. Sits in front. Backhand. Oh, glove save. Somebody call the cops. I'm telling you, it's robbery. Matt Schmidt flashes the leather. And that was another big one there from the Century net keeper.
Yeah, you know, and I love how composed he is. You know, he makes the save, hands the puck to the ref. You know, it's all business for him. He wasn't out of position. He moves well laterally left to right, and, you know, he made that one look easy. It looked like a beach ball to him.
Comes back up to the point. Heinert back to the near side. Deeks is at the center point. Drop down near side, top of the circle, right side of the radio dial. With 37 seconds of the 5-on-3, the Demons work it nicely to Deeks. Back over Petrie. Back up to Deeks after the miscue. Comes down low to Heinert. He's in the far circle. Back up to Deeks. Delivers back over to Petrie. Left-handed shot. Tried to send it down low. Now Dane Sardelli's got it. Glove side. He's going to work at top of the circle. Sardelli fires. Oh, that was a hard wrister. And it was a quick release from Dane Sardelli. And the glove save was there from Matt Schmidt.
Yeah, Bismarck High runs kind of an umbrella look. They had that single defenseman up high, and they really like to kind of run that little diagonal north-south play and then look to go east-west on the opposite side, but Century's doing a good job shutting it down.
Here's Deeks across to Heinert. Deeks handles again, sends it towards the net. Nice play there. Diving in front of that one was Cullen Curl. 9 seconds of the 4-on-4, and then Bismarck High will still have 55 seconds on the power play. Eric Steele in the way of Bailey, the referee, and frees it now for Petrie. Comes up Sardelli. He'll turn and fire. Cullen Curl blocking shots like it's his job. Blocks another one. Petrie center of the net, sends it in. Oh, look out. We're going to have a Donnybrook now as Petrie went flying in there with the stick to the glove of Matt Schmidt. The Patriot decor says, "What are you doing, Mr. Petrie? Boys will be boys." They're going to let him stay 5-on-5, but that's what I'm talking about with the style of play from Caleb Petrie. He's a player that delivers that extra element to your hockey team that, frankly, you hate to play against him. You love having him on your team. I said it to Mike Peluso on the pregame show. He just seems like the guy that not only does Caleb Petrie have 52 points on the year, 4th in the state in scoring coming in, but he's a guy that he seems like one of those crazy players that he's not afraid to maybe put a stick right into your belly button at times. And with that being said, knowing that you play with an intimidation factor, you play with an edge, and because of that, Caleb Petrie is certainly a special guy, and it makes him next level in my mind.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of the cleaner version of a Brad Marchand, Tom Wilson kind of guy. You know, definitely a guy you don't like playing against, but love to have on your team. And, when you can get a guy that, can go to the dirty areas but also find a way to produce points, that's always welcomed on your offensive side.
Mike Peluso said a player like Petrie's tailor-made right into his coaching style. You heard that in the Planet Pizza pregame show tonight. If you listen to it, I said, yeah, this kid reminds me, he's old school, reminds me of like a 1990s ideal high school hockey player. And Mike said that's exactly what fits into his system, and Petrie's just that. Deeks is on the retrieve back in his own territory. He works it up to Joey Heinert. He's got Petrie with the dropped off. Petrie walks, fires backhand, sends it towards the net. That one went wide. And the Patriots are going to kill off the 5-on-3. We're back to full strength. As down low, the puck will come away to Hansen back in behind the net. And the puck is worked all the way back out to center. 6.5 to play in the second. Patriots are up 2-0. West Region Championship game. Third matchup of the year between Bismarck High and Bismarck Century. Both the other games were played at the VFW Sports Center in Bismarck, with my time spent with the Bismarck Bobcats of the North American League as their broadcaster, director of game operations, the sales guy in the office. Man, I had some fantastic times watching these two teams, these two programs, I should say, play at the VFW Sports Center on Tuesdays and Thursday nights there. Dumped all the way down in behind Matt Schmidt. Puck comes back away behind the cage. Something that you just don't understand fully unless you're there. Imagine a 1,700-person venue that's basically a sold-out show with the rowdiest student section you're going to see, and hockey games that are just elevated to another level with plenty of emotions and always high. And Century have some of the top players in the state, which turns it to a whole new level. This year's no different. Region title game is played in Minot this year, however, and it's a good one. Nevertheless, shots are 13-10. Demons have the advantage, but they're down 2-0, and the Patriots clear it back out to center with Jaden Reimer. Reimer's in with it, near wing, blocker side, hits the brakes, left side of the radio dial underneath the goal line. Freed now, and Joey Heinert has it back, and here comes Heinert out to center. His pocket's picked by Schulte. Schulte brings it back across to the near side. Now Furman moved it up to center ice. That was Caden Sullivan, rather. In with a drive, pad save, rebound, loose in front of the Century. That nice opportunity, and knocking on the back door was Nick Mortensen, but he couldn't get a handle on it. Demons third line dumps it down, back in behind the net. Hansen's back on the retrieve, and they bring it back up to center to the Patriots with Samarzik. Samarzik hit hard there on the near side by Dayton Deeks. Dumps it into the Bismarck Demon zone on the blocker side. Ackerman run into from behind the net. Then Ackerman gave the old lumber Ed Belfour style right to the side of Samarzik. They may be from the same town. They certainly don't like each other. Deeks out of his own zone, trying to clear it back out. Hit from behind on the play, no call there. McIntyre thought maybe he would draw a penalty. Dumped back in behind the Demon goal. Pushed up to center ice. Sardelli back up for the Demons. Taken by Bailey. He'll just send this one all the way down, and that will be an icing. 3:59 to play in the second. Century up 2-0.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing here right now is Bismarck High. They're 0 for 4 on the power play tonight. Century with a power play goal as well, tonight. And, in a 2-0 game, special teams can be the difference maker. And, if you have 4 power plays and haven't found a way to produce, especially a 5-on-3 that lasted over a minute, you've really got to go back to the drawing board and simplify things if you're Bismarck High and keep crashing the crease.
From center ice, Patriots dump it in with Gavin Saylor. Now the Demons cleared out of their own end. Petrie's on it here. Petrie and Sardelli are in. Here's a drive from Petrie. That one went wide. Fisher's the other guy out. Fisher's got a big hit there. Comes all the way back up to center ice. Correct that wasn't Fisher. That was Olhauser. 14-24. Sent in front of Ackerman. Ackerman run into on the plays out of the net, but back up. Doesn't matter anyway. Demons are trying to clear their own zone. At the blue line, it spun back in. That was Jaden Reimer, and Reimer for the Patriots dumps it down where Petrie's on the retrieve, trying to clear. They can't, and it's held in there by Brandon Schaefer. Now it goes back to Petrie, and he's just going to launch this one down. Rolls all the way down the length of the ice. The puck was on Ed. It's still rolling. Look at it's coming all the way around the end boards here. And it's an icing nevertheless. 3:04 to play here in the second. Special thank you to our good friend Andrew Goodmanson at 701 Realty. Let Andrew Goodmanson make your experience positive when buying or selling a home or property. Give him a call at 701-240-1965. That's 701 Realty. Sure appreciate Goody for all his support. Big hit in the corner is charging into the offensive zone. There was Preston Walker down to the corner. That recipient to the hit was Brandon Schaefer. Comes back up to the neutral ice zone where now we've got a scrum for it here. The Demons control again with Dayton Deeks, and Deeks will carry it in. Deeks sends it in front of the net, comes back away to Furman. He's underneath the goal line, sends it in front, no one home. Puck is picked up here by the Patriots, and they fire it out and all the way down. Puck will roll just to the left of Ackerman, icing the call with 2:23 to play here in the second. 2-0 Bismarck Century.
Yeah, that was an icing that was well earned by a very soft skate back by the defenseman. But I really like how physical these teams are, especially for two teams that they have a lot of offensive punch and production. They're not afraid to go to the dirty areas. A lot of this game has been played, on the half wall, along the boards, in the corners, and it's nice to see guys that can score the goal and also give a hit as well.
Demon offensive zone. They control the puck side of the net, try to work it towards the cage. Was 11 there for White. That's Mortensen. Comes all the way back up to the point. Sullivan sends it back in off of Joey Heinert. Back in behind the net now and goes back away here to Gavin Saylor. Saylor got it up the wall to Colin Curl. Taken away. Heinert sends it in. That save is made. Runner 2 to play in the second. Century is up by a score of 2-0 in the West Region title game. Puck is flipped out of the zone by Peyton Sleddy. Gets it up to Schulte, and Schulte's in over the blue line. Taken here on the near side wing. Heinert trying to move it back ahead. Comes back away with the help of Deeks. And it's pushed ahead forward back into Patriot territory where Saylor moves it back ahead the other way to Crew Walker. Now it's Deeks on the near side wall at center ice in the neutral ice zone. Nick Brown was out there. We haven't seen this line in a minute here for Bismarck Century. It's taken by Sleddy, and he just dumps it all the way down. Your thoughts on Century with the icings here in the second? They're holding on to that 2-0 lead right now.
Yeah, right now, kind of seeing that a whole lot of nothing, essentially. I can't think of, we've gone without a grade A opportunity for quite a while now, and, it just kind of seems like Century is, if you're Century, you're content, I guess, with just staying pat, but of course you'd like to extend that lead, and Bismarck High is definitely pressed hard here.
Sardelli off the top of the circle, off the draw in the offensive zone, sent it wide to the glove side. That thing's like a slingshot. That's a howitzer for a wrister. Didn't hit the net. Here comes Dan Sem with the 1-minute call in the second.
1 minute to play, second period. 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Sem. Well, it's been entertaining so far. We haven't had a whole lot of fireworks since the first when Nick Brown scored twice, 2-0 at the end of one. That's where we sit right now, the final minute of the second. And here comes Carter Bailey out to center ice for the Patriots, now into the offensive zone. Taken away here by the Demons, and up comes Caleb Moore. Back to Sardelli. It's a 3-on-2 for the Demons into the offensive zone. Nice play defensively. Bailey swept it away there, but Sardelli's got it back. Tried to send it in front to Petrie. And a play there from the goaltender's stick. Schmidt intercepts that. Schulte's got it back, and here comes Schulte to flip it into the zone. Back on the retrieve is Braxton Neese for the Bismarck Demons. He comes up the near side wing. Neese 10 points on the year, wants more. We're down to the final 8 seconds. Count them down, kids. 7, 6, 5. Here's 4, 3. And the period will come to a close like this unless they can fire one more. Walker had the shot, and he never got it off. 2-0 at the end of 2 periods played. Our first International Bank and Trust intermission report comes up next. We'll give you a North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament preview. Well, all the stats from this one. Then we'll have the third period to see if Mike Peluso's Bismarck Demons could come back. 2-0 at the end of 2. This is the West Region title game on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Modern Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork in their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Vibeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Modern Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Nick Brown's 2 goals tonight are the only 2 to report here from the Pepsi rink at Mesa Arena. 2-0 Patriots at the end of 2. It's the First International Bank and Trust intermission report. Nick Hulberg alongside a former Botno Lumberjack and Botno Brave Noah Grant. Noah, we sure appreciate your time this weekend. Great job with the broadcast here. You're normally up here in the booth with the Minot State Beavers, or the broadcast that they do. Your thoughts on the high school hockey tournament in the WDA, one that you've played in before and one that is certainly no stranger to you. Your thoughts on the tournament overall after we're basically about to wrap it up in the next 17 minutes here.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a fun weekend. It's a weekend that, everybody plays for, looks forward to, that sort of thing. But, I was actually kind of surprised by how wide open some of these games were. I expected a couple more of these games, like the earlier game between Minot and Jamestown, expected to be a closer tilt, ended up to be 7-1 in the Magicians' favor. But, obviously, tournament time, it's the best time of year, especially as a player. It's what you look forward to, and you realize that whatever you did for the past 3.5 months, I mean, doesn't mean anything because you've got 2 or 3 games in front of you that, they mean the most. So, overall, I think, the 2 teams in the championship game, they're here for a reason, rightfully so. I think that these 2 Bismarck clubs are, they're another tier above the rest of the teams that are in the West right now. That might change, especially you've got a lot of teams, in Minot High and Jamestown. Dickinson, Wilson's got a young group, teams that their young guys get a chance to develop, maybe gain a little bit of confidence. We could see a much tighter West Region tournament come next year.
Yeah, it really will be. I think it's going to be fun to see what happens in 2020 just because of the fact that, like you just mentioned, there's so many teams with so much young talent. You look at Jace Thompson, 40 points almost for him. He's only a sophomore. He plays for Jamestown. You look at that Minot High club who goes into the state tournament, the number 3 seed. And you've got a handful of guys that will be back next year that are going to be solid there. You look at a Botno team at Ian Amsbaugh, who was at the top of the list again in North Dakota for scoring production. I mean, there's going to be some interesting games next year, and I think next year's tournament will definitely be a little bit tighter. This one, no shortage of being a teeter-totter match here tonight. 2-0 Century leads at the end of 2 periods played. Shots are 14-10 in favor of Bismarck High. Management stopping 14-14. Quinn Ackerman has made 8 saves on the 10 shots. Here's the recap of the scoring. 6:10 of the first. Nicholas Brown from Gavin Saylor, and it was 1-0 Century. Then Century went on the power play. Connor Hansen had a rifle from the line that was tipped in front by Nick Brown for his second to the game. Time of that one was 16:09. Nobody scored after that. Nobody scored in the second. Second was basically kind of a sleeper of a second period. You know, like you said, it's a defensive struggle between the two teams, just kind of hanging back and not allowing either team to really capitalize on any big mistakes. You like that style of play, and at what point does Bismarck High make a complete game plan change here in the third period?
You know, to be totally honest, I mean, if you're Century right now, you're okay with the period that you just had. You'd like to have it again, obviously, because you're in the driver's seat. But if you're Bismarck High, I mean, you're already in the state tournament. You know, both these teams are already going to the state tournament. You know, maybe this is a good opportunity to practice maybe some systems and see, you know, in a game situation, you know, if we're down 2-0 going into the third period in a state tournament, you know, what's going to work for us? What happens if we try this? What if we change this? What if we tweak this? Because, you know, in reality, the only thing you have to lose is a seeding, which could totally change, you know, who you match up with on the first, second, third day of the state tournament, especially with that Grand Forks Central team that is extremely dangerous in the East. But, you know, you're never really going to know unless you try. And right now, the Demons are down 2-0, and, you know, they need to find a way to get to those high danger areas and get to the crease, because I think they've had a lot of decent possession time, especially at the end of the period in the corners and stuff, but you don't score goals from the corners.
Century's up 2-0 at the end of 2 periods played. Just a quick announcement for all you hockey fans out there. This is something that we would sure appreciate. Former Minot High Magician, former Minot Minotauro, and former Fargo Force Mason Morelli is up for the 2019 Hobie Baker Award. You can head online now and place your fan vote for the Minot product that's on the list of Hobie Baker nominees, the most prestigious award in all of college hockey. And Minot's very own Mason Morelli's on the list. You can head to HobieBaker.com. You can place your vote for the North Dakota product. And if you're a fan of hockey in North Dakota, it'd be worth your time to at least go and take 2 seconds. Go to HobieBaker.com, vote for Mr. Morelli, and see if we can't get him at the top of the list. More importantly than all that, this is a guy that he's probably the most humble hockey player I've ever met. He's one of the best to ever come through the program at Minot High, and you would never, ever know that just within conversation with Mason Morelli. The guy certainly is a special breed, and he's a great hockey player. He's the captain at UNO now, and it's quite the honor to even be mentioned in that list of nominees for the Hobie Baker Award here in 2019.
Yeah, you know, it's always nice to see, you know, North Dakota products come up and, you know, really excel, especially at the Division I level. Last year we saw, you know, the Hobie Baker Award, you know, guys that were considered, you know, Alec Rawhauser from Bismarck Century a couple of years ago at Bowling Green was, you know, considered for that as well. So it's really nice to see, you know, guys, especially guys that, you know, I played with and against, you know, knowing that, you know, North Dakota hockey is, especially next to Minnesota, everyone thinks that North Dakota is the sleeper, you know, the sleeper state that doesn't have a lot of talent that comes through. But I mean, you look at, you know, Mason Morelli, who, I mean, the guy's got a cannon of a shot. He's really grown into a leader on this UNO club. You look at other guys around, you know, Keaton Thompson from Devil's Lake a couple years ago, you know, was really good. Of course, Grand Forks always produces a boatload of talent. So, you know, for North Dakota hockey to become relevant, they're adding more teams at the college level. They have more teams coming in high school as well. It's just to see guys excel and be able to put North Dakota on the map, and then for hockey to grow in North Dakota, it only bodes well for us.
Absolutely, it sure does. Good point. 2-0 at the end of 2 periods played here tonight in the West Region Championship matchup. Bismarck Century leads the Bismarck Demons. We'll come back and have the finale of the WDA tournament and crown somebody the champion with the #1 seed heading into the state tournament next week. Nick Brown's 2 are the only to report tonight. 50-plus points again for Nick Brown. Sardelli and Petrie, anybody from the Demons have what it takes here in the third? We're going to find out Region title matchup. Third period is next.
Consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiasts. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork and their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Vibeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestead from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork and their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Vibeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank. This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Vibeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International.
"17 minutes is all that separates the Bismarck Century Patriots from repeating as the West Region tournament champions. Can they get it done, or does Bismarck High have what it takes to come back in this one? It's been 2-0 ever since our first frame tonight. Nick Hulberg and Noah Grant for the call of the third period of this West Region title game, or is this going to be just like the other two matchups with these teams this year that will result in overtime? You'd almost have to think, with the dramatics that these two teams have had, that it certainly wouldn't be a shock if Bismarck High could find a way to score 2 against the Patriots here in the third and continue to have good goaltending from Ackerman. What is your game plan if you're Mike Peluso here in period number 3?
Well, just focus on one. You know, it's 17 minutes is a lot of time in a hockey game. Just focus on one and try to build from there. You know, you can't score 2 goals on one shot. So, you know, make the simple plays, take care of your own zone, build it up from the back end, try to get to the neutral zone with speed, get into the offensive zone, obviously, and then try to get to the middle of the ice. And you know, with a guy like Matthew Schmidt in net, it might not be a first chance opportunity, so that means you got to get bodies and pucks to the net and try to get that loose change.
The other side for Troy Olsen, what do you think his game plan is here for the third?
Well, that lead on the board, obviously he wants to keep it. So, you know, you have to be defensively sounded. You got to make sure you're moving north to south, no east-west plays. Don't put pucks up the middle unless, you know, the play is 100%, and make sure you're taking things zone by zone. I mean, you're okay if the puck is across your side of the red line because it's not in your zone.
2-0 Patriots to start the third. Let's set up the radio dial for you. Ackerman will be on the right side for Bismarck High, who's in their home whites. Moving from the right to the left, it's the Patriots in their road. Blues pucks out of play with Matt Schmidt in the blue paint on the left side. Face off at center, they'll have it there again as the puck went up and into the bench in between benches. 16:55 to play here in the third period. 2-0 Bismarck Century. Well, 35 state tournament appearances for Bismarck High. When you think about that, they're at the top of the list in the West region. Minot's tied with them for the same amount, 35. Century's got 20. But they've got a 12-year streak going all the way back to 2006. That's the last time that Century didn't make the state high school hockey tournament. You know when the last time Bismarck High didn't qualify for the tournament?
The 70s, maybe?
1989.
Wow.
Nick Brown in front of his own net. Left it there for Bailey. 89, they didn't qualify. Then they made it to the state championship game back in 92 when Mike Peluso was on the team. His dad, Jim Peluso, one of the greats of North Dakota hockey. He was the head coach of the club. Bismarck High should have won that hockey game hands down. And the Magicians were magical that night. They beat them 8-7 at the old Ralph Engelstad Arena. That was the first time a West Region team has ever won the North Dakota High School Hockey Tournament. Bismarck High did it after that. Mid-2000s, Minot High's got another banner. Minot High has the lead in banners with 2 of those. 92 and 2015. Bismarck High has 1. Century has none. Century's had some teams that could do it. You talk about Alec Rawhauser and some of the guys that have come through their program. They had a team to do it last year with Isaiah Thomas and Kirkland Irie. Is this year the year that Century will put themselves on the map and be on the list of royalty for North Dakota high school hockey? You would certainly like to think somebody from the West can get it done, but my goodness, the talk about Grand Forks Central out east, they are so good, and they're not even letting anybody get close to them.
Yeah,
Bailey.
And especially when you talk about, you know, Minot High holds the banner record with 2 banners. That just tells you how strong, you know, the East has been historically in North Dakota high school hockey.
Puck goes up into the Century bench and out of play. We'll have a face-off coming in front of Troy Olsen's bench. Well, when you look at the matchups this year with Bismarck High and Bismarck Century, and then you look at when they matched up against Grand Forks Central, Grand Forks Central on the 21st of January this year put it on Bismarck High 10-1. They pounded them. Century played them just recently, and Century only lost to them 3-1. So they are beatable. They definitely are. You just have to have a really good game, and I think that when you look at the goaltenders in this contest here tonight, delayed call coming on the Demons, on the Patriots actually, a power play coming. I think there's goaltenders on the ice tonight that have the ability to get it done. Matt Schmidt, in my mind, has been sensational all year long. He would be one of them for sure.
And, you know, that's the beauty of tournament time. You know, the regular season, it really doesn't matter. It's all about the game in front of you, and, you know, it only takes one win to move on or to win a state championship.
Brown's back in the box. Here's the power play for Deke. Sends it in from the line and into the butterfly. And making the stop onto the pillows was Matt Schmidt for another stop here tonight.
Yeah, Matthew Schmidt, I mean, what more can you say about him? He just looks cool, calm, and composed back in that net for the Patriots.
Petrie in on the draw, and Petrie wins that one away from Samarzik. Back at the point, Deeks handles and drops it back down low. Petrie to Sardelli, it's taken here and launched all the way out by Bailey, and out to play it is Ackerman, who raced over to the corner to drop it off there right in front of the Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza sign in front of the Zamboni door. Here comes Big Dane Sardelli up through center ice. Sardelli will take this one back in behind the net. He came into tonight's game fourth in scoring in all of North Dakota. Sardelli having another great year after 26 points for him last year. He came into tonight with 50. 25 and 25, number 6 in North Dakota, I'm sorry. Petrie had more. Petrie was the one that was number 4 in the state. Petrie came into tonight's game sitting on 52 points. Brown's passed him now as Brown's got 2 in the game. Out of the corner, walking right in front of the century net, comes back to the point. Deeks over to Petrie. Petrie looks for the outlet. He's in the glove side circle, drops it down underneath the net where Sleddy is met there by Sardelli. Then it's freed over to Petrie, and Petrie's got it at the goal line. Petrie out angle, fires it up. That one hit traffic. Then it went wide, back up to the point. Heinert handles here, back over to Deeks, who sent it down from Petrie. Then Sleddy takes it and launches that one all the way down like a frisbee right in to the near side circle off the stick of Ackerman, the net keeper, with 30 seconds on the power play. It goes up to Deeks, taken there by Schulte, and Schulte will launch it all the way down.
Yeah, Bismarck High isn't using their speed, like they were in the first half of this game, and for them to have success, I think that's the formula for them. If they can enter the zone with numbers and get these Patriot defensemen and these very talented Patriot defensemen on their heels and keep them in their zone. I mean, that's the formula for me, because the neutral zone has been so clogged up through the majority of this game.
Well, the look on Peluso and Erickson's faces, the coaching staff for the Demons after that last icing, kind of tells the tale here tonight. Shots are 15-11 in favor of the Demons, but the Patriots lead 2-0. At center ice, Furman had to wait to go in onside. Sorry, that was 21. It said Braxton Neese. We're back to 5-on-5 as the puck is sent in from center by Farnsworth. Comes down into the corner on the glove side of Matt Schmidt. Out with it is Braxton Neese. Neese crashing towards the front of the net. Comes back up here on the near side, and away with it came Preston Wachter. Now it's taken by Schulte. He delivers out to center ice off of Korsmo. Off of Reimer. Reimer handled, and it's sent right back in behind the Century net. Back in behind, it's Hansen that handles here, taken away. Furman trying to work it out in front of the Century goal. We're 5 minutes into the third period. Neither team has scored since the first when Nick Brown did it. That's the last to do it. Time of that one was 16:09 of period number 1, so it's been a while. With 51 seconds left in the opening frame. Ackerman's out of the net to play it. He copped it up, gave it right to a Century player. That's Dixon. Back in behind the net. Dixon couldn't find the outlet. Now it's going to be taken here from Sleddy. Tried to move it ahead forward. The puck will come out to center ice as there's a scrum for it that falls into the Century end on the near side wall. Back to the far side corner. Sleddy on the glove side. Fired it out to center on the blocker side. And back on the retrieve for the Demons. That was Caden Sullivan. And the Patriots are back in, but offsides here with 11:18 to play in the third.
Yeah, credit the Patriots, too. I mean, Bismarck High has gone 0 for 5 on the power play. Their special teams, has been good on both sides of the spectrum, killing off all 5 penalties and then also finding a way to score a goal on the power play as well. So, the Patriots, I think they've been the better hockey team so far.
Last time these two teams played, they matched up on the 5th of February, so it was just recently. Schulte's back in with it to the offensive zone. We'll talk about that first. Oh, big blocker save. Schulte went to the backhand. Tried to pitchfork that one upstairs, and Ackerman keeps the game within reach for Bismarck High. That was a huge save of the contest. Now trying to clear it are the Demons. They fired all the way out and down. This will come down for an icing. So with 10:51 of the third, we'll have a stop of the play and a face-off coming back to the blocker side of Ackerman. But when you look back to the 5th of February, the matchup at the VFW Sports Center, Bismarck High and Century went toe-to-toe. Matt Schmidt had to make 29 stops that night. Quinn Ackerman made 31. And it was Bismarck Century that got the win in the shootout against Bismarck High. So a different story here tonight. It's 2-0 in this one with 15-12, the shot advantage for the Demons. Well, defensive played game in your mind, Noah, or has the offense just not been able to get going tonight?
I think it's a little bit of both, and, you know, it's not for lack of possession because both teams have had the puck pretty equally, but I think Century has had a little bit easier time coming to the neutral zone and making the right plays.
Petrie carried it into the offensive territory. Then there's a hit. Nick Brown was upended there by Deeks, and another icing here on the Patriots. Well, we'll put it this way. It isn't the fireworks show that I thought we were possibly going to see here this afternoon. Nevertheless, it's still a good 2-0 hockey game. It's just two teams that are certainly playing, I don't want to say tentatives, maybe not the right word, but in a sense it feels that way a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just one of those games where I'm surprised I haven't seen more, you know, scoring chances and high danger opportunities.
Well, you could credit the defense for that too, probably like we just said. Look, puck comes all the way down, another icing. But a lot of icings, a lot of opportunities that just seem to go untouched here. 10-17 to play in the third, 2-0.
And you've got to wonder too, I mean, with these icings, you know, these teams are so good at, you know, building transition with speed and with numbers, and icings usually mean stretch passes that have kind of gone awry. So, you know, it's important for these guys to not try to force these plays and, you know, play their style of game.
Back up to Bailey in the offensive zone. He sends it down to the corner. Century's up 2-0. 10-10 to play in the third. Back at the point. Bailey sends it in, went wide of Ackerman on the glove side. Comes back over to Schulte, and Schulte delivers back behind the net around to the near side wing, and on the retrieve for the Demons is Jack Steckler. Steckler at 8 points coming into tonight. He's been held off the score sheet. The Demons are in on a 2-on-1 with it as Braxton Neese suckers it forward, but too far ahead. He retrieves it in the corners. It's worked up to the near side half boards, and at the line, it's Steckler that handled, and all of a sudden the Patriots are back the other way with that high tempo you're talking about. Here's a drive from Sleddy that was a high riser, went over the head of the glove of Ackerman. Neese is back in over the line, but Chase Furman was offside, so 9:32 on the board. 3 is the period, 2 for the Patriots, 0 for the Demons. Will face it off at neutral.
You know, it's interesting to think about, too. I mean, it's only a 2-0 hockey game, and, you know, one goal by Bismarck High could certainly change the tone and tempo of this game in a hurry. So, you know, 9:30 is a lot of time left on the clock for the Demons to make something happen.
Nick Brown's back in with it. Brown sends it in, and Ackerman makes the glove save. He'll hang tight to it. Another nice save from the junior net keeper from Bismarck High.
Yeah, a couple of guys on each of these teams that can really shoot the puck too. You know, you look at a guy, you know, Nicholas Brown obviously shoots the puck hard, but on the other side, you know, you look at Dane Sardelli. I saw him shoot a puck off the crossbar in warm-ups yesterday that almost ended up in the seating in the neutral zone in warm-ups. I mean, he literally shook the net. So, I mean, you know, there are some guys that can really rip the biscuit out here.
Puck is taken in the offensive zone for the Patriots. On the far side wall, Petrie trying to work it up ahead. Look out, shot it right into the bench. Hit Coach Erickson for the Demons on the bench. Always funny when that happens. And the look there from Mark Erickson didn't seem too happy on that one, did he?
Yeah, maybe hoping one of his guys would maybe throw a hand up there and, you know, be the first line of defense. But you know hockey guys, they're tough customers.
Well, that coaching staff for Bismarck High certainly is. Off the draw, you've got Petrie and Nick Brown going at it on the blocker side of Ackerman. Puck handled here by Hansen. Waits to go into the offensive zone. Now Hansen spins back to the wall near side wing. Dropped off at the point to Bailey. You've got Dane Sardelli playing the old cherry picker, if you will, up at center ice. He's out floating around in the neutral zone. That sucks the defense back for the Patriots. They have to keep an eye on Dane Sardelli if he breaks free back here. Top producer for Bismarck High would be Petrie. You would have somebody joining them at the top of the list. Look at this. Nick Brown's got the puck on his stick. Tried to carry it from behind the net. What's he going to do? Try to take it to the top shelf, possibly. Back door. Puck is sent back out to center ice. And now here's Sardelli. It's a 3-on-2 for the Demons into the offensive zone. And Bailey makes an excellent play defensively. He disrupts that party. And now it's Hansen back behind his own net with control. 8:17 to play in the third period with real estate. The Patriots push it up to center. 2-0 Century with the lead. Bismarck High's got the floating centerman up at neutral ice on the forecheck, trying to break out of their zone. They're starting to play some of their cards that they have in the deck. One of them is Sardelli, one of the top point producers in North Dakota. But it's Bailey, meanwhile, in his own defensive zone for the Patriots. Out to center. Look out. Petrie absolutely lights up Jade Reimer. That was the hit of the game, maybe of the tournament. And Caleb Petrie lays the body on the far side wall, brings the Bismarck bench to volume. That might be a momentum swinger. 7:34 to play here in the third. 2-0. Hitting hasn't lacked in this one tonight, but that last hit from Petrie, that was a big boy hit. Comes back underneath the net for the Demons. It's Wachter that's trying to free it down low. He's met there by Bailey. He's still pinned up. Braxton Neese is down low, scrumming forward as well. Now Hansen handles it here, and Hansen fires it up off the boards. This will come all the way down for an icing. Will it? Yes, it will. 7:08 in the third. Patriots are up 2-0. Faceoff coming on the glove side of Matt Schmidt. That was a monster hit over on the far wall.
Yeah, really nice hit, and Bismarck High is starting to get more aggressive now. You know, their defensemen are starting to activate, jump up in the rush. You got Dane Sardelli, who, you know, is looking for a breakaway, and, you know, this is what we talked about. You know, Mike Caruso might start taking some chances, see what works. You know, the unconventional can sometimes pay dividends. You remember Patrick Waugh, you know, all those years ago, pulling goaltenders with almost 5 minutes remaining, so we'll have to see what Mike Caruso has in his bag of tricks.
Demons fired it in off the draw. Troy Olson, by the way, the head coach of the Patriots, who's been there for 14 years, wanted to talk to Eric Steele, the head referee, about that hit from Petrie, is what I'd have to assume. Didn't get the answer he wanted. Heinert's back in with a dump and chase. Demons goes down to the far side corner. On the retrieve over there, it's going to be taken down low by the Patriots, and it's Sleddy that takes it. He just rifles it around the boards. Up to the blue line. It was held in nicely by Olhauser. He has to regroup back at center with help, though, of Caleb Moore, as the Patriots were all over him. Now it's taken here by Sleddy again. He'll just launch this one up to center. Sardelli dropped it down. Here come the Demons with Mortensen. Sardelli's back in. Has a crashing player towards the net. That was Heinert. Meanwhile, Schmidt made a stick save on the Walker's side, comes back away underneath the net. Sardelli trying to wrap it around, brings it back to the far circle. A drive, sent it up and wide. Nobody at the blue line for the Demons. They were off on a change as Dayton Deeks, the assistant captain, comes back to retrieve. Petrie's back on the ice for Bismarck High. He'll fire it in from center, rolls around the end boards all the way to the near side half wall from the far side. Now Nick Brown brings it ahead forward. Petrie made the play on Brown and upended that 2-on-1 party. 5 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the third period. Patriots are up 2-0. They won the region championship in 1996 for the first time ever. They took a 15-year hiatus on winning it again. Then they won it in 2011. They've won 4 since, and they're on their way to making it 5 and back-to-back. If they can hang on to this 2-goal lead with 5:19 to play here in the third period. From center, Bailey dumps it in. Ackerman gloved it, dropped it down, and it's picked up here and worked out to center ice, up to Wachter, trying to move it ahead forward to Caleb Petrie. He's going to have a break in here. Petrie, odd-angle shot, sends it up into the protective mesh, and a stop of the play on an excellent opportunity for Petrie. 5:02 to play in the third. Patriots lead 2-0.
Yeah, and that's just kind of been the story for Bismarck High. They've had a couple of opportunities where, you know, they've had pucks glance off sticks, or it just, you know, ends up rolling on edge or that sort of thing, you know, preventing them from getting that real high-quality chance that they've been looking for.
Patriots are going to fire this one back out to center ice. Puck will come back into Patriot territory, back behind the net where it's taken here. Worked all the way around out to center, and on the retrieve for the Demons, back is Caden Sullivan with the help of Olhauser. Sullivan dropped it back to Olhauser. We're down to 4:40 to play in the third. Buckle up your seatbelts. If the Demons score, this place is going to go berserko, and we're going to be in store for quite the thriller. Braxton East walks in and fires. He'll have that one knocked down. Sullivan calls for it, top of the circle, near side, sends it towards the net. Delayed call coming on the Patriots, and the power play will come back out for the Demons. And hang on tight, we've got an interference. It was called, and now the power play comes back out. This is power play number 6 according to my count here tonight. And the Demons are 0 They haven't scored at all in the hockey game. As to the box will go number 21, Jacob Paul.
You know, and they're 0 for 5 so far, but it's not necessarily how many power play goals you do get, but when you get one that makes the biggest difference. And we have a timeout here by, I believe, Bismarck High.
Bismarck High takes a timeout. We'll do the same thing. Don't go anywhere on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network. The finale of this one with Century up 2-0. Demons go to the power play. We'll see how it unfolds for the region title.
Systems go for lunch when supper time's up. Crunch T-minus now. It's time for Planet Pizza. With lots of space for fun. There's room for everyone. From me and Marianne to Planet Pizza.
Buckle up tight, 4:21 left here in the third period. Nick Brown's got 2 goals for Bismarck Century, the only 2 to report tonight. They both came in the first period. Since then, nobody scored. Sitting on 16-13 is the shot total tonight. Demons have the advantage. 3 more than the Patriots tonight. Dayton Deeks at center. They work with 1:52 of power play time to the Demons. Back over from Heinert, back to Deeks, and here comes Deeks up to center ice, the junior D-man. Skates it down into the corner. Glove side of Matt Schmidt. Nick Brown took it there, and it's Joey Heinert that's on the retrieve down low. Heinert at the half boards, works it back up to the point, center slot. Deeks handles, now Heinert again. Heinert on the blocker side, top of the circle, up to Deeks, sends it in, tipped in front, save, rebound, loose in front. Everybody goes crashing in, and Matt Schmidt hangs on tight. He had that thing with a lock and key.
Yeah, Matt Schmidt moves so well, and that's what Troy Olsen has kind of been keying on for his penalty kill. They're content with letting the 3 guys at the top of the umbrella move the puck around because Matthew Schmidt is reading it extremely well, so they're taking away the middle of the ice and kind of let him play cat and mouse because their goaltender is able to read the play.
Off the draw on the glove side of Schmidt. Puck comes back away, and handling now for the Demons, it's Steckler. Work back up to the near side. Heinert sends it in. Diving in front of that one was Connor Hansen. You hear the Century bench come alive. They like the captain. One of the captains of the Patriots putting the body out front. Here's a drive and a waffle board save from Matt Schmidt. Big one for him. Now Deeks at the line. Sends it in. Tipped in front. Sardelli gets it behind the net. Then it's stripped there and fired all the way down by Austin Wald.
Yeah, and how many times have we heard Connor Hansen's name? He's probably had about 6 or 7 key blocks in this hockey game. He's had an incredible evening.
Dayton Deeks goes coast to coast. He's a right-handed shot. He's going to break free. Turns it towards the net. Tried to pick the top corner on the blocker side of Matt Schmidt. Got the elbow and the arm up in the way. Did we hear the goal pipe go clank, though?
It was very close indeed. But you got to be good to be lucky to be good, and that's what Matt Schmidt's been tonight. But, we saw Deeks and his skill set on display there, almost picked the top corner.
Heinert tried to hold the zone, but it was a hungry Cullen Curl that pushed it out to center. Heinert's going to skate it back in. Heinert top of the circle, turns it in. That one whistled over the head of Matt Schmidt, and back down low it comes. Demons have control of the puck, trying to go back door to Heinert, but Sleddy got a stick in the way of that one. Goes back around behind the net to way to the far side. Now it's Petrie. He handles at the half wall. Far side boards. Underneath the goal line. Out of Gretzky's office. It goes now to Steckler. Steckler with a backhand. Delivered back to Petrie. Petrie across. Heinert's got it. He sends it in front. Oh, the shot was there from Sardelli, but he poked it wide. The Patriots kill off the Demons' 6th power play of the night. And we remain at 2-0. We're down to 2 minutes, 15 seconds to play here. They had 2 minutes, 16 seconds to play here in the third, 2-0.
Yeah, interesting.
Are you laughing at me? I saw Sleddy flip the puck up. Everybody was looking up. I thought maybe we were going to get drilled with it. I lost it in the lights. I didn't see it.
I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt, but, you said you only played JV, and, I don't know, man. But interested to see when Mike Caruso thinks about pulling his netminder here, speaking of goaltenders.
Well, Ackerman right now sits at the hash marks. He looks towards the Bismarck bench, but first it's Schulte that's going to carry it down in on Ackerman. Ackerman's going to cover it up. He'll hang tight to it. 2 minutes, 2 seconds to play in the third. Shots are 18-14 Demons, but the Patriots lead 2-0. 8 region championships since 2017 for the Bismarck Demons. They have been a dynasty over here on the western side of North Dakota. Here's a stat for all you Bismarck hockey fans. Minot High hasn't won a region tournament since 2006. Since that time, it's been either the Demons or the Patriots. Bailey's back into the offensive zone. Bailey turns and fires, and the stop is made from Ackerman. He'll hang on tight to it.
Yeah, interested to hear you talk about those numbers. My Botno Braves haven't won a region tournament since they split with, I believe, Minot in 1993. My freshman year, 2012, we missed winning the region by a point. We had to beat Bismarck Century in regulation, and we won in overtime. So, yeah, it's hard hearing about these dynasties. I don't really really know how to feel about that, but certainly 2 teams that have really been powerhouses on display tonight.
Walker's side of Ackerman with $1:45 to play here in the third period. Here's Deeks on the near side of wall, goes up to Sardelli. These are 2 fun hockey teams to watch, though, let me tell you. Might have to cover some of these games at the state high school hockey tournament. Taken here by Deeks. He'll fire it around the end wall and behind the Century goaltender, Matt Schmidt. There goes Ackerman. He's off for the extra attacker. And we've got a stop in the play now. Casey Lang blew the whistle at center ice. Was it offsides? What was the call? Ackerman came off for the extra attacker. Now with 1:23 left here in the third period, the faceoff will return right in front of the Bismarck bench. Do you know what the call is here?
No, I didn't exactly see. I didn't know if it, I got played with a high stick or something, but not really sure what was warranted the center ice faceoff.
So they bring it back to center ice. I thought the puck was in the Century zone when the whistle was blown. So regardless, faceoff's at center. 1 minute, 22 seconds left here in the third. Patriots are up 2-0. They dump it back in behind Ackerman. Dayton Deeks is on the retrieve, and now the intensity is going to start to boil. Already has been. Hauled up was Deeks, no call to play. Demons wanted the call. Back in, here's a drive into the glove of Ackerman right at the 1:01 mark in the third, and Ackerman will hang on to it.
Yeah, and Bismarck Century doing a nice job, attacking before Bismarck High even gets to the red line, trying to force that puck back in the zone. They've only got to survive a minute and change, so, credit the Patriots. They've taken care of the neutral zone all night tonight, and they definitely deserve the 2-0 lead on the board.
Here comes the 1 minute call from Dan Seb.
1 minute to play, regulation, 1 minute in the third period.
Thank you, Dan. Sardelli's hit on a 1-on-3, turns it towards the net, whistled it wide. Ackerman's off, it's a 6-on-5 for the Demons. Puck on the blocker side of Schmidt out as Heinert sends it across in front of the net, a drive, sent it just wide on the excellent opportunity from Landon Fisher. Nick Brown's got it bidding for the hat trick, sends it towards the other end of the ice with the open net, but he sent it wide. 30 seconds to play in regulation. The Patriots are up by 2. Time is running out. Look out. Dayton Deeks was cranked on the near side. Gavin Saylor ran into him, and that was a big collision. 20 seconds to play in the hockey game. Schulte on the near side wall. It goes back to Petrie, and now you can almost put the nail on the coffin. The icing's going to come down on the Demons. 10 seconds, make it 9 is what's left in the contest. Patriots are up 2-0. And you need the quickest 2 goals by 1 player in a tournament, you can go into the record books. Bismarck High will remember this night. It was 1998, and it was a player by the name of John Grubb from Minot that scored goals 5 seconds apart in the region title game. Minot beat Bismarck 3-2. Somebody's going to have to do it 9 seconds for the Demons if they want to stop the Patriots from going back-to-back as region champs. That's not going to happen. Century fans start to come alive. Cut them down 3-2, and here's the horn. Century's back-to-back champs of the West. They're going to the state tournament as the number 1 seed. Bismarck High will be the number 2 seed. Minot goes in as the 3 seed. Mandan is the 4 seed. And how do you like that? Matt Schmidt comes up with shutout number 4 of the year. And there's talk all the time when you talk to people, well, he's got some good numbers because he plays some cake teams. He just shut out the Bismarck High Demons, the number 1 team in the west side of North Dakota. Schmidt's the real deal. 1.22 save percentage. Goals against average, and a 9.42 save percentage. Those numbers will improve after tonight. Pro Style Production post-game show comes up next. The Patriots are the champs of the West Region, back-to-back champs. Hard-fought game for both teams tonight. We'll tell you how the Patriots did it. Preview the state high school hockey tournament. The Demons and Patriots, a lot of hugging out there at center ice as they go through the handshake line. 2-0 the final. Century gets the win in the region title game. We'll tell you all about it in the Pro Style Production post-game show.
On the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Monmouth's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Vibeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Modern Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Patriots get the win in the region title game here at the Pepsi Rink. Let's just turn it down to Dan Sim as they give the presentation of the all-tournament team, I believe it is. It's either all-tournament team or the all-West region team. We'll hear it from Dan Sim. Let's turn it down to Mr. Sim.
Please come forward if you're in the Mesa. Representing Dickinson, Joseph Pavick. From the Jamestown Blue Jays, Jace Thompson. From the Minot Magicians, Peyton Fillion. And now our defenseman selected as all-conference. From Bismarck Century, Carter Bailey. From Bismarck Century, Peyton Sletty. Again from Bismarck Century, Connor Hansen. From Bismarck High, Dayton Deeks. And from the Dickinson Midgets, Jared Hicklin. Goaltenders selected as all-conference this year. From Century, Matthew Schmidt. And our new saves leader from Jamestown, Riley Gerhardt. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a big round of applause for our all-conference players.
Well, there you hear the all-conference team for the West Region, and can't really argue with that. You're looking at a Century lineup out there. You've got the goaltender Schmidt, Hansen, Sletty, Bailey. You've got Nick Brown out there as well. 5 from Bismarck Century. You got 3 from Bismarck High, Sardelli, Petrie, and Deeks. Good choices there.
The next award we will present.
Habsbaum from Botno. You've got the Thompson kid from Jamestown, Fillion from Minot, and Gerhardt, the goaltender from Jamestown as well. A couple announcements for Dickinson players that must not be in the building, but there you hear Caleb Petrie's name announced as well.
Caleb Petrie, our 2018-19 West Region Outstanding Senior Athlete.
So Caleb Petrie will be up for Mr. Hockey as he is announced as the West Region Senior Athlete of the Year.
Is the West Region Coach of the Year Award as sponsored by the North Dakota High School Coaches Association. The 2018-19 West Region Coach of the Year, as selected by his peers, Mr. Leif Matson from Mandan High. Congratulations to Leif Matson from Mandan. Our final recognitions tonight are the team awards.
Well, we know what those are. It's Bismarck Century, the top team in the West. The Demons, the number 2 team out west. Your thoughts on this West Region title affair tonight? Century, the better team on the scoreboard, 2-0. They get the rubber match after after 3 games, a difference in goals of 2 total.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Century was the better team, quite honestly. I mean, they possessed the puck quite better than Bismarck High. I mean, they have that defensive core that, you know, really solidifies them back there. And, you know, 2-0 seems about right. I mean, I think that, you know, it wasn't a game where, you know, the next goal could have won. I think Century just by a hair was the better team, and they controlled the play most of the night. And, you know, it's all fine and dandy for them, but the reality is these 2 teams still have, you know, a big mountain to climb if they want to hoist the state championship at the end of the year.
It's time for the Minot's Finest Collision Center Stars of the Game. Minot's Finest Collision Center. We are Minot's Finest.
Always hard picking the star of the game. We usually pick 3 of them. Tonight we'll just let you know who our picks are for the tops of the contest. You usually pick 3. I would have to think that Caleb Petrie tonight from Bismarck High, even though he's held out the score sheet. Good 2-way player. He had a couple hits in the hockey game. But if you're counting those tonight, he certainly led that category. He was good tonight. But my picks are coming from the other side of the sheet. Nick Brown, 2 goals in the hockey game, will be on the list for sure. He's my number 2 star of the game. And Matt Schmidt turns in an 18-save shutout performance. And you got a goaltender that can rise to an occasion and pick up his 4th shutout of the year. That's that sacred word we talk about not being able to say leading up to that point in the game. I've got him pegged as our star of the game. You shake your head when I say Petrie for the 3rd star, Brown for the 2nd, and Matt Schmidt for the top star of the game. Which way would you go here tonight?
You know, I totally agree with all 3 of them, but I think there's a guy that just needs to be thrown in there for a certain consideration. And, you know, I think Connor Hansen had a phenomenal night tonight. I mean, he had about 5 or 6 key blocks, you know, within the slot. He moved the puck well. You know, he was active defensively all night. And, you know, maybe not a guy that certainly showed up on the score sheet, but I thought, you know, especially for being a leader on, you know, that electric back end for the Patriots, I don't know if I would have fit him into the 3 stars, but I mean, he definitely impressed me out there tonight.
Good game tonight for both of these hockey clubs. Patriots will be the 1 seed. They're going to match up with, it looks like, Red River out on the east side of North Dakota. Minot High will have Fargo Davies, as it seems. Mandan will play Central. We're just assuming that. And Bismarck High's matchup is yet to be determined, I do believe, with the Fargo South matchup, and Fargo South playing on the east side of the state. I'll tell you, hang on 1 second. That matchup this afternoon, Fargo South, Fargo North and Red River. Red River won that game, so Red River will take on Century. Central and Davies are playing right now. Central is going to end up taking on Mandan. You can almost assume that. Davies will take on Minot. The other qualifier is West Fargo and Fargo South. Yes, so it's Bismarck High that will match up with Fargo South Shanley or West Fargo. Have they played them yet this year? Well, they beat West Fargo 3-2 to open the year, did the Demons. And then they played Fargo South and lost to them 4-0. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. As far as Century's concerned, they matched up with Grand Forks Red River on the 21st of January. They beat them 4-2. So it could be real interesting to get through that first round of the state tournament. Some teams that they've got some familiarity with and some teams that they've beat out east, number 1 and number 2 on the western side of North Dakota. Should be fun at the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament next week. In closing, Noah, your final thoughts on not only the tournament, but this championship matchup here today at the Pepsi Rink at Mesa Arena.
Yeah, well, it was an awesome tournament, and, for both the Bismarck teams, Minot and Mandan, enjoy every moment of it, you know, relish in the fact that you get to go play in a state tournament, and, you know, may the best team win. And yeah, I think these two teams that we just saw here tonight have a really good chance at pushing for a state title.
Sure appreciate your time in the broadcast booth with us all week long here at the WDA tournament. Best of luck the rest of the Beaver season for you up in the broadcast booth. We sure appreciate your time here.
Thank you.
That's Noah Grant, my broadcast partner here for the championship game today and the state qualifier for the Magi. Larry McFall joined us for the rest of them here on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network. Mandan, the 4 seed, Minot, the 3 seed, Bismarck, the 2 seed, and Century for the second year in a row. The number 1 seed, back-to-back West Region champions after they win 2-0 today. State tournament starts next Thursday. For everyone involved at the Pepsi Rink at Mesa Arena, we appreciate them and all their hard work. Till the state tournament next week. Good night and God bless.